If you want to launch an AI service business, I'm talking about an agency, a consulting business, or one where you only focus on integrating AI systems and automations into companies, I can guarantee you one thing. It's that you will not make money by focusing on the tools and the systems or AI in general. And I learned this the hard way. Over the last 15 months, we've been helping companies, founders launch and scale AI service businesses, and they've made millions. I'm talking about selling to dental clinics, $15,000 systems, selling to med spas, $10,000 systems, selling to online education companies, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of systems. The number one thing we discovered is that you have to stop focusing on AI. And I spent the last 90 days, 4 months, perfecting this presentation where I documented every single thing that we did in each market to be able to go pick the best markets that are willing to spend the most amount of money on AI solutions, figure out the right delivery model that gives us replication leverage, figure out the acquisition system that actually predictably generates leads, appointments, and pre-sold clients. And last but not least, we believe that the AI service as an opportunity, the ability to sell AI systems, AI solutions, AI workflows, helping businesses grow with AI is only going to be here for the next 12 months alone. Because this new wave, this new opportunity that opens up is this idea where you own intelligence and rent it out to people through AI platforms. And the reason why I wanted to deliver this presentation, this masterclass that I've been working on for so long, is because once you see what we discovered towards the end of this masterclass, you'll realize that you're wrong if you think that your current AI service business is the thing that's going to allow you to create wealth. And you need to actually do as much as you can to scale the current business you have as fast as possible so you can own data, distribution, customers that allows you to now afford to go into this new model, which I'm going to share at the end of the presentation. Please do yourself a favor and watch everything I cover in this masterclass. And at the end, if you believe in everything that I share, and you can see how it actually solves every single problem for you and opens up this new model for you, then please click the link below, apply to join our incubator. We have our Black Friday offer, and we believe we're going to change lives. And we believe that we've built something that can actually change lives. But for now, enjoy this presentation and comment below what you end up enjoying the most out of it. It has generated us a lot of money, and I think you're gonna like it. Find it helpful. Bye-bye. How to win the AI race and enter the most effortless business model that has ever existed. But most importantly, how to not get replaced by those who do. Okay. In the last 15 months, we've spent millions and made millions launching and scaling a little over 200 AI startups now, more specifically AI growth firms in most of the 70 markets that we already have data on, right? As you guys can see here, we have 950 deals closed, a little from 12K, 2K offers, $15,000 systems that we're selling in all different markets. And we have created more success than we ever have, not because we're the best, but because the demand for AI is simply insatiable. We have this client in the dental market. He started a little end of 2024, I believe, like December. He is about to end this year at 200K a month in the dental market. We have this other client also on a run rate. In September, he did 50K cash collected. Right now, they're doing around 6 figures a month, primarily selling these system solutions for, they're selling it a little bit more expensive though. I'm not going to lie. They're doing it for $15,000. They're getting paid 50% of it up front. We have this other client in the UK doing the same thing. He just closed his first 6 clients at 9.7K a pop. Online education, selling to aesthetic clinics, selling to real estate. This is also the real estate niche, selling to law firms, $15,000 systems, selling to HVAC, mining companies, Amazon brands, consulting, e-commerce, and restaurants, right? If you've been wondering what these people online know that you don't know to be able to build a 20,000, 6-figure a month AI firm in 3 to 6 months, then I can promise you that you'll leave today's presentation with a clear step-by-step plan of how they do it, from the simple fact that we are their launchpad. This was our income in September. We did a little $60,000 away from $1 million in 5 weeks, and a little over multiple 6 figures in profit, right? But let me be clear. The reason why I'm super excited about today's presentation is because of the following. We made a discovery that will blow your mind, at least it blew mine, when it comes to leveraging artificial intelligence to build and scale AI, these AI service companies. People are selling AI, but so few people are actually learning to let AI actually build you the company that you want. And the second most important insight is that the next 4 weeks before Christmas is the most profitable B2B window of the entire year. Of course, if you're selling to consumers, you have the Black Fridays of the world, but now is also the best time to sell to B2B, primarily because companies are trying to lower their tax bill, they're using up remaining budget, they're preparing for 2026 planning, and they're aggressively seeking efficiency and automation, demanding growth without more overhead. And the only path that gives them all of this simultaneously is AI. So if there was ever a time to launch, validate, and scale an AI service business, this is it. My mission today is to share with you our entire growth playbook and infrastructure for you to go from your current situation to owning an AI firm that generates 10 to 50K per month, preferably securing your first 1 to 3 deals before the end of the year. Once you accomplish this, I want to partner with you and enter this new opportunity that we discovered. So, how am I going to deliver on this promise? It's really simple. I'm going to share the first thing, which is why did I shut down my $500,000 a month agency and consulting business 15 months ago and go all in? The second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to share the AI blueprint that 99% of AI founders are blind to, and why everybody who's actually building an AI service business the old way will fail. I would even say that majority of people running AI service businesses today are actually struggling, and I'm going to show you guys proof. And the third thing I'm going to cover is the only AI problems worth solving. Everything else is a trap, and why companies pay $10,000 to $50,000 for these systems. The fourth thing I'm going to go over is the growth system turning our clients into 50K, 100K a month AI founders in 3 to 6 months. And last but not least, the end game of AI, which I believe is why even every AI service business will be crushed by AI and where the real wealth of the next decade will be created. Okay, let's go. Why did I stop everything to go all in on AI 15 months ago? Anybody ever read this book called The Innovator's Dilemma? Let me know in the chat. For those who have never read this book, it's essentially about this concept that when there is a platform shift, right now we're in this AI platform shift, but before there were platform shifts like social media, telephones, right? Going from a Nokia to an iPhone, right? Which is a smartphone versus just phones that just only focus on calling. Streaming, going from Blockbuster to Netflix. Essentially, what this book talks about is this idea that when you're really successful and a new platform shift occurs, most giants always look at the new thing and laugh it off and say, that's not worth our time. Why should we pay attention to this little company called Netflix? Why are we Kodak making billions of dollars a year? Why should we pay attention to this little company called Apple? If we're BlackBerry, why should we care about Apple? If we're Yahoo, why should we care about Google? It's just this little company that does search, right? And then guess what? They all never pay attention to this shift happening, and they all go bust. But 15 months ago, I saw this thing which was completely flipped this narrative, which is every single incumbent, aka the largest companies in the world today, are all in on AI. You have the Microsofts of the world pouring to acquire a piece of OpenAI, spending $13 billion to acquire a stake in the company. Amazon pouring billions. Google pouring billions. Meta pouring billions, right? All the way to the point that they're paying researchers $125 million to come work for them, a single employee. When I saw this, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. If the old truth was that incumbents, the biggest companies, don't care about platform shifts, then why are they paying attention to AI? That was the first thing that kind of like triggered me. The second thing, I started following all the money going, all the venture capital money flow, which was where are they spending money? And I saw that in 2023, 2024, they started allocating most of their capital to only AI related ventures. Globally, last year they spent $209 million. 131 of it went to AI companies. The largest market cap company, this was another insight that I was studying. I was like, how is it that the largest company in the world is NVIDIA? For those who don't know, NVIDIA essentially creates these chips that a lot of these AI platforms, large language models leverage, right? How is it bigger than Microsoft, Apple, Alphabet, Google, Amazon, and Meta when it doesn't even make the most amount of money? I needed to understand, how is this possible? And what I realized is that if you know anything about how the value of a company is calculated, it's based on the current numbers they're doing, but also the belief of where the company is going in the future. The reason why NVIDIA is worth $4 trillion, $5 trillion isn't because of what it sells today. It's worth this much because investors believe that it's the backbone of AI future and that the future could dwarf the internet, mobile, and cloud combined. All that data, though, was great, but it wasn't enough for me to shut down my my service business, which we were, doing growth, marketing, advertising, building outbound teams for businesses, it wasn't enough for me to just shut everything down because we're not a tech company, so we don't care. That's until we started seeing these case studies. Let me show you. So we had this 16-year-old who first actually introduced us to AI, which was self-selling AI dialer. He was selling AI dialers back in 2023. As you guys can see here, it's been a minute that we've been in this space. And he was doing $5,000 a month, 3 to 5K per month, selling each system for like $500 to $1,000 to these businesses. And he literally had to go do landscaping to get $100 to be able to afford money on ads to get leads for his service, right? I believe like 2, 3 weeks later, he got an investor on a call, a real estate investor who needed to nurture his leads and his prospects. And we got him to essentially reposition his system and his solution into an AI growth infrastructure, kind of like an asset instead of just selling it as a voice agent. And that same real estate investor paid him $12,000 for the same system he was struggling to sell for 500, right? And he started selling a lot of these, 9,000 here, not 10,000 there. And by March, end of March 2024, he did his first $52,000 week. When I saw this, it kind of like I was like, whoa, how is this possible? Doesn't make any sense. I've been in business long enough to understand that no one it didn't make sense. It's not possible. It almost like bends the rules of reality, right? And by May, he had first six-figure month. And like any young gentleman who starts making money, he's gonna go start splurging. And then we had this other case study of agency owners who were selling to med spas. Previously, they were struggling to sell lead gen to med spas. The businesses only wanted to pay per lead. We said, hey, we're starting to see a trend where AI is really in demand. Why don't you stop selling leads and actually start selling these AI systems? And they started selling each system for 8.4K. And 5 months later, they hit their first $50,000 month and 70K in revenue. We started seeing this trend left and right. MedSpa again, from 3K per month to selling $10,000 systems, from below 20K per month with their agency to $40,000 a week in revenue and $30,000 in cash. Even in the Spanish market, in Spain, going from 2 to 5K per month when they started working with us to doing $129,000 a month in end of July this year, right? With these case studies, I knew that no other company or offer was worth launching unless it had something to do with AI. So we went all in, right? Now, to begin, I want to go over the most important lesson, which is the thing that keeps most companies from growing, which is knowing what I know now, I'd be doing you guys a disservice by saying that AI is the reason why you'll be successful, primarily because there are currently thousands of people already in the AI space and capable of even making $3,000 per month. I saw this comment on my YouTube channel, and this guy said, this is all unrealistic, bombastic bullshit. I'm sure no ordinary person starting from scratch and with basic or limited resources is capable of doing that. I'm a front-end developer and dreading to go back to get a job. I'm struggling to reach 3K per month with an AI automation business, and I've got a no-brainer all-in-one automation and web package service. I can literally put together websites in 30 to 60 minutes. The Gen Z influencer culture is so blatantly toxic, victims and addicts of marketing and lacking of truth. What he did not understand is that I totally agree with him. The truth around winning in this world of AI has actually nothing to do with AI. And the best way for me to explain it is by sharing the stats around the struggles of most companies, and not just in the realm of AI, but just in general, in the whole wide world. And the reason why I'm qualified to say this is because I quit my job in 2020 and I started my first agency business. I was selling appointment setting in January of 2021. And from 2022 to literally in the last 3 years, we've done a little over, we're actually about to hit $15 million, right? And it's because I realized that the truth is most businesses always go bankrupt, don't make any money. There are currently a little around 34 million businesses in the US alone. Only 5% of them cross the $1 million mark a year, right? And the average net profit of each of these businesses is 7 to 10% of that $1 million, which means that they're on average, a business owner making $1 million of revenue only takes home 70K to 100K profit per year, right? But the problem is, this is the top 5%. That's not majority of the companies. There are 95% of all companies that are all dying. And the average is they only take home 15 or 20K per year. So if 100% of everyone here on this call started a business, 95% of all of us would end up here. So before I try to show you guys some AI tactics and some systems and some solutions, I want to make it clear. Starting a business is the wrong thing to do. Let me repeat this. Starting a business because you're excited about a service or a solution or some new technology is the worst thing you can do. Hence why all these front-end developers are even struggling to launch and scale AI companies. So I want to help you guys understand why that's the case. Almost every entrepreneur falls for this trap. They think that if they can just get good at one thing, meaning I'm going to get good at integrating AI into businesses, I'm going to get good at helping, maybe I'm going to start a construction business, maybe I'm going to start an advertising business, an accounting business, that they'll go on to build a successful business where they're their own boss. Unfortunately, how much money you make or your business makes has nothing to do with your skills, service, or even product you're selling. It all comes down to the momentum ceiling of the opportunity that you're in. And for you guys to understand what this means, I need to start using physics a little bit, right? Momentum in physics is calculated by the mass of the object times the velocity. So, in what direction is it going and how fast is it going in that direction? In business, I like to also try to find the formula of momentum. And the way that I like to calculate it is mass is pricing. So, how much do you charge per client? And how many clients can you handle in a month? Speed is how fast do you acquire clients and how fast can you fulfill, right? And then there's this little bonus, which is a trend. If there's a trend that's happening, it's a multiplier. I want to show you guys this example in real time by using the goat of business today, who's Hormozy. He's going crazy right now. And I want to show you guys that even he failed at this game until he learned this lesson. Do you guys allow me to tell you guys a story about this handsome, muscular man? That is, let me know in the chat. And also, by the way, guys, one thing about me is I'm not an AI first person. I'm a let's make money and change our life person. So if it means that I have to tell you guys stories that change the way you guys see the world so you guys can win at AI, then that's what I'm going to do. Is that fine with you guys? Like, I'm sure I'm not the first person you guys see talk about AI. If the first person you guys heard talk about AI actually helped you guys were already making the millions, but you guys are not. So I want to paint the picture clear. Is that okay, guys? Let me know see in the chat. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, guys. Amazing. So I learned this, it was 2021. I was still running my agency, right? And I wanted to study because I was like, how is it? I've been in so many courses online. I've bought every course you guys can think of. Agency, I've tried drop shipping, I've tried consulting, I bought from Sam Ovens, I bought from the Taylor Welches of the world. I bought from every single person because I'm like, I'm an immigrant, I just moved to Canada. I'm like, I have the potential to do anything. I see all these kids online making money, so why can't I? So I just started buying courses. But I spent 3 years and went through 6 different business models and nothing happened. And I knew that something was broken. So I started studying who was making money. And the way that I needed to understand this, it was actually not studying who was making money, but I wanted to study their story, not where they are today, but what they were struggling at today before they started winning. And I started learning about Hormozy. Check this out. Hormozy's story is the following. He was running a gyms, physical businesses, right? And then from 23 to 26, he opened 5 gyms, closed all of them, lost everything. Went back to helping gyms, lost everything twice. From these 3 years, he was actually failing, right? And I want to explain to you guys why. It's because when you're running a service business, and even worse, a brick and mortar business, unfortunately, you can be the greatest, you can have great biceps, you can be smart, but you're just in the wrong opportunity. One, because the people you're serving are capped. Hormozy, he was a great marketer, but his gyms were capped to how the people who are in a 25-mile radius. He was also selling what? A commodity. Working out is a commodity, no matter how you flip it, right? But he had his the $1 million, $100 million offers where he would actually pitched them $600, $1,000 challenges. So he actually was able to charge a little bit more upfront. But even that couldn't help him because the way that he could deliver, he was capped by the location size, literally the square foot of his locations. And he was also capped by the time to train the clients. You need to literally be there. And even if you hire people, those people need to be there, right? The only thing that was good for him is that he knew how to do ads, right? But there was nothing going on in the market that would actually allow him to have, there was no trend, right? What I want you guys to see is this. How does one person go from 3 years of winning and losses to making from 26, he just lost everything. And at 27, he just clears 3 million in profit in 6 months, and then $17 million in profit in the next 12 months. That does not make sense. It's not possible. You cannot go from failing for 3 years and make $17 million in 12 months. What do you guys think changed? Anybody want to put it in the chat? What do you guys think changed? How does one person in the same human, the same brain, the same muscles, the same work ethic, I'm sure he was probably working harder here. What do you guys think changed? Okay, let me help you guys. Oh, someone just said it. Oh, I like it. Who's the person? Okay, he doesn't have a name. First thing that changed, guys, is the following. He widened up the market and started selling to customers nationwide. But that's not it. He started selling to businesses instead of consumers, right? Lesson number one, who you serve makes or breaks you. Lesson number two, he started solving a problem that was a premium, that was a sophisticated problem that required sophisticated solution. Therefore, he could charge a lot of money. He went from selling gym training for $600 to each one of his clients being worth $16,000 for a 16-week program. So he wasn't a commodity anymore. And most importantly, the way he would deliver went from in-person to advice and training, which means that he had no cap at how many people he could fulfill for in a month. What do you guys think happens when you can serve people with bigger problems? You can charge them a lot more money. And by the way you fulfill isn't even capped. You make miracles happen. And the other things that he already had was ads. He was already good at that. And businesses needed ads, right? Everyone here on this call, on this Zoom, who's been in business and be like, oh man, I don't know why this thing is just not working for me. Ask yourself, who are you selling to? How much are you charging? And do you have to trade your time for money to actually help the clients? How are you acquiring clients? And is there something that's allowing you to change your game? When I saw this breakdown and I realized that, oh, it doesn't matter how hard you work. Even the smartest people fail in the wrong opportunities. I was like, okay, beautiful. I'll never, ever confuse success with hard work or intelligence. So I did just that. As I told you guys, I started my appointment setting agency. I was serving service businesses to be exact. I was selling appointment setting services for $700 to 1.5K per month. I was doing done for you service delivery, which means that I was capped literally. Not only was I capped by the size of my team, but every time I get new clients, I would have to scale the number of employees in my company. So that means that the more money I made, the more money I lost. I was lucky. I knew how to do cold outreach, but there wasn't anything going on. So what happened is I did scale the business to $28,000 a month from January to like May, which was great. I was making 30K a year. I started making 28K per month. I was like, amazing. I was still living at home in the basement cooking. But I was like, I'm meant for more. So what did I do? I was like, I want better momentum. So instead of selling done for you appointment setting services, I started selling a growth infrastructure, an asset where it was almost like a system where we'd actually, instead of me doing the outreach with VAs, I'll be like, hey, I'm going to build the system in your business But since you won't have to pay me or complain to pay me 1,200 bucks a month, I'm going to put it in your business and you're going to own it, but I want you to pay me upfront. People are like, oh, I don't have to pay you an agency fee every month? Of course, let's do it. They started paying me 10, $15,000 per system. 12,000, 10,000, 12,000, 15, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, right? And the other thing is, my delivery model was that the system was built once, the VA pool was built once, and every client that came in, it was just a constant process of, I've already built it. I just put it in, plug and play, right? That made my capacity of fulfillment. I was able to not be stuck at 20 clients a month and not be able to handle more. I was able to get 25 to 45 new clients every single month. And guess what? Started doing $1 million every 90 days. And by the end of 2022, I did my first $500,000 a month in cash collected. Hence why we've been able to go from um, a business that struggles, never being able to scale, to making my first 8 figures in literally 2 years, 2.5 years, right? And that is the lesson, right? And the mistake that every AI entrepreneur is making is that unfortunately they're not on this call. Therefore, they're doing the following. They're like, you know what? AI is the thing. Every business wants it. So they're like, I'm not going to pick any niche. I'm just going to focus on the automation. And then they're like, oh, I'm going to go study N8 and workflows. I'm going to figure out the AI chatbots, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm going to do the delivery myself. They're actually wanting to become experts at doing the work. So this means that they're capped by time. And even worse, since they have no specific niche, they build everything from scratch and personalize it for every client. Every single new client is a custom build. You're not going to make any money doing that. I promise you that, right? And they're being told to do cold emails to cold businesses. The only thing that's saving them is the fact that there is just insatiable demand for AI, right? For me today, what I want to do is, this is not what I'm going to talk about today. This is not a business worth starting. I want to talk about what is an 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10 opportunity with AI. Does that make sense, guys? Did that make sense? Is that clear? Is that flowing? Okay, beautiful. Here is the thing. Hormozy, myself, our clients didn't change what business is. We still need to attract clients. We still had to get paid. We still had to deliver. The only thing that changed was the degree of leverage in how we did it. The beauty of this lesson is that once you see it and internalize it, it becomes really easy to accept the simple fact that working hard, being smart, working for years, decades doesn't make you deserving of freedom or being financially free. Knowing this truth, I made it my goal to find a blueprint around building and scaling AI companies that prioritize leverage engineering over learning every AI tool, building custom projects for pennies, aka slavery disguised as entrepreneurship, competing in crowded markets, and becoming just another AI automation agency. Because my main goal is making my clients rich enough so that they can afford to be present. Because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, building a business is actually pretty hard. Even when you're successful, you just end up being a slave to your business. That's not what we want to do. Okay. So here are the 5 core leverage principles that we're going to cover today. AI market leverage, replication leverage, pricing leverage, acquisition leverage, and trend leverage. You master these 5 things, you control your destiny. Give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place, and I shall move the world. Before we get started, I want you to understand something. These 5 insights don't just have the power to move your world and build a thriving business in the AI era. They give you an unfair advantage so massive you'll be able to move other people's worlds too. So please pay close attention. Don't treat this as just another idea that you hear and forget. Treat it like the lever that can help you bend reality in your favor. Let's get started. AI market leverage. To help you understand how powerful this insight is, I need to share with you observations I made that made me realize that 99% of everyone entering this AI race is clueless, and that our playbook had to literally be complete opposite of what everybody is doing. We had to be inverted from whatever they're doing. First red flag I saw, beginners are in love with the tools and automations, but the skills they're acquiring are worthless. They're worth less than an Uber Eats delivery. If you're in Montreal, I like to order poulet rouge. It costs me around 30 bucks, right? These videos on YouTube teaching you guys how to go build these workflows is the thing that will kill you guys in business. Let me explain. When you have a million views on a video, there is a million people acquiring the same thing that you're acquiring, right? You're competing with a million people. There's thousands of communities like this with hundreds of thousands of people wanting to get into this opportunity. And what ends up happening is the following. The reason why this is even possible, that this is such a mass opportunity that people are paying attention to, is because the tools themselves are commodities. Most of these tools are $29 a month, $39 a month, sometimes even free. So you're learning to acquire something that costs 20 bucks a month. There is no barrier to entry. Therefore, the thing you're acquiring, the skill you're acquiring is not even that valuable. But even greater risk, you're not realizing that you're not just competing with people in the United States, you're not just competing with people in the UK, you're competing with the entire world. And what's cheap to you is not the same cheap to the person who's in Nigeria or Africa who only needs to make $21 per setup to be happy. Or maybe they're charging a little bit more. Oyetola, my brother, is charging $43. The rate of commoditization that is happening of people just focusing on the AI skill is unbelievable. It is scary. When I saw that, I was like, uh-oh, there's a problem here. Problem number two, I also noticed that even engineers are struggling from this comment. Excellent video. I'm a senior software engineer with background in AI engineering. The most challenging part, as you said, is to build a valuable solution. That's the mistake I made and probably still making, like you said. You can't come from nowhere and build a real solution that solves a real problem. I'm trying to learn business, marketing, and all of that to build intuition. But it's really, really hard for me as a purely technical person. I don't really know what companies actually need to solve and what real problems. Not going to lie, it's so frustrating when you can build anything of any complexity, but your skills are so useless because you don't know how business works. And he was asking for books and resources to go learn. This one did definitely surprise me because I'm like, engineers build AI. They are the one that built this tool. So how are they struggling to make money with it? And what this made me realize is that, oh, the technical part isn't the valuable part around AI. You can be the most technical person, and I promise you, a business still wouldn't be willing to give you a penny because a business doesn't wake up and be like, oh, what is the API that we're calling for this tool? That's not what people are looking for. People are looking for make me money, help me get customers, help me fulfill for customers, help me make more and spend less. But engineers have no clue around how to do that. So that was interesting. I'm like, oh, okay, perfect. Observation number three was I wanted to study the most successful AI startups. Where are they focusing? And that's where I saw that it's segmented into two buckets, consumer AI and then enterprise AI. Okay. You have consumer, aka professional prosumers. You have companies like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Cursor, Midjourney, Jasper, right? All doing hundreds of $1 million in ARR in run rate, being worth billions. And then the other side, you have companies like Anthropic, Databricks, Palantir, Applied Intuition. These are companies are going after these bigger, harder problems and focusing on companies or government work. And the reason why they're only focusing on these two buckets is because of the following. You want to focus on building consumer apps because you're betting on the fact that, oh, one winner takes all, kind of like ChatGPT, right? The problem with building a company that only focuses on consumers is that the barrier is super low to build these, and they all have to be commoditized, meaning they're all easy to build, but you can't even charge a lot of money for it because if you want mass adoption, you need something to be free. Imagine if Facebook charged you to go on Facebook, you wouldn't go there, right? So they make Facebook free. If it's free, everybody uses it. The other alternative, which is enterprise, is you want to go after enterprise because it's a high barrier of entry and you need deep tech and you have long sales cycles and you need a lot of money, right? Luckily, we don't want to build a $1 billion company, right? So you don't want to compete with any of these since the smartest people with the people with the deepest pockets are exactly focusing on these two markets. So who are we focusing on? Beautiful. We're focusing on the largest segment of companies that are not being paid attention to, which is SMBs, small, medium-sized businesses, right? If you guys look at it, the large enterprise, which companies like this are focusing on, is just 20,000. But there are 34 million plus companies that are not being paid attention to, right? And then the consumer part, you don't even want to touch there unless you got billions of dollars, right? So if they're their largest segment of businesses, why are startups and investors not focusing on them? Because that's a valid question. It's like, oh, Serge, why are we focusing on this if the smartest people, people with the most amount of money, are focusing on here and enterprise? Well, let me explain. The reason why they're not focusing on these other companies is because of the following. Tools without playbooks are useless. So companies that are building these things like Jasper.ai or like ChatGPT, ChatGPT to a founder, to a company, to a small, medium business is useless. It's like giving a Ferrari to someone without a driver's license. They just don't know what to do. They don't have the right playbook. They can't help themselves. The other problem is these companies can't afford enterprise style experts. SMBs don't have the budget to hire consultants. But the most important one is that every SMB looks different. The way you try to go sell to a local clinic is different from the way you sell to a law firm. The way you sell to a law firm is different from the way you sell to a gym. The way you sell to a gym is different from the way you sell to a restaurant. And if I'm an investor and I want to deploy $1 billion or I want to build a $1 billion company, I'm not gonna go work on local clinics and then build another department that focuses on gyms and then another department that focuses on law firms. So the market is so broken up that in it's just hard to attack every single niche at the same time. So it's not $1 billion opportunity. But that's good. Who cares about billions? We want to make millions, right? So that's who we're focusing on. I think there's this quote that says that someone's trash is someone's gold. Well, this is trash since it's not $1 billion, but for us it's gold, right? And then you have a lot of these companies that say, "Hey, I want to turn my pool company into AI company." What? How does a founder of a pool company, pool business, want to turn into an AI company? Everybody's looking for AI. It's unbelievable, right? So I want to show you guys how we're actually getting these SMBs to get them to pay us for these commoditized tools that only charge $29 a month, but we're getting paid 9K, 7K upfront, 4.5K upfront, 15K deals, 12K deals, right? For us to be able to achieve this, we do the following. We forget about AI first and foremost and focus on understanding the playbooks and the skills the 1% of their industries have that the remainder doesn't. Let me explain. When we're entering any market, we focus on the following. We want to go, let's say I'm going after real estate. I don't want to go to real estate agents and say, oh, I have an AI SDR that can help you book calls. That's the wrong way to go about it. What you want to do is when you want to study who's the realtor that makes the most amount of money in the real estate game. If you want to go after coaches and consultants, you want to ask yourself who's making the most amount of money in the coaching and consulting space. If you want to go after lawyers, you want to understand how is the top law firms scaling. Once you understand what's happening, then you have the key playbook to help the remainder of the market, right? Once you have that playbook, you can then go and sell and deliver it to them with AI. And the biggest bottleneck that all of them have, by the way, is how to get clients. Most SMBs aren't failing because they lack skill or passion for their business. In fact, they're often better at their craft than their competitors. They care deeply, work harder, pour their soul, blood, sweat, and tears into it. But the brutal truth, unfortunately, about the market is the market doesn't reward the best service provider. It rewards the one who can acquire clients the fastest and most predictably. That's why someone with less skill, less experience, even less care can dominate an industry. Okay? So, what is the 1% gap and growth playbook that bridges this gap? After going into the 70 different markets that we're in right now with our partners, we realized that the truth is it doesn't matter if you're running a local shop, a professional firm, home services, roofing, selling software, consulting, agency, or selling information online. It doesn't change. It's the same thing everyone is dealing with, right? And if you remember, I said that AI tools on their own are worthless. The thing that makes them valuable is the playbook they're executing. So in this section, we're about to learn how millions are made, and the following step will be how to leverage AI to distribute this 1% playbook to the rest of the market that in a million years they would never figure out on their own. First and foremost, the most important thing of all today, every business that's making millions, billions has that others don't. Unfortunately, it's not even the product, it's attention. And I want to pause here for a second. Can you guys feel what I just said? Who here runs a business? Anybody currently runs a business? And how do you feel when you look at guys online who have an infinitely shittier service product? They're generally like literally dumb. And you're out there grinding, hustling. You're like, man, I'm working on this. I'm in the systems. I'm in go high level. I'm trying to sell, but I can't make any money. But I'm seeing this guy who all they do online is just dance on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram Reels, and they're getting millions of views, and they're buying Bugattis, they're buying these Paganis, these 500K $1 million cars at like 15 years old. How many are experiencing this? Exactly. So the biggest, most important lesson to learn in business, guys, is that unfortunately, the old way where it's like, oh, build a business and be good at your craft, forget about it. Rule number one, own attention. Because money follows attention, right? For you to understand the current world, though, we have to visit the old world where you had to rent attention. So before the digital era was created, creation was gated. The actual process of creating content was gated. Second thing that was gated was distribution. To reach an audience, you actually had to pay someone like ads, radio, newspapers, billboards, which means that monetization was also exclusive with these media giants. And last but not least, trust. The trust sat with the institutions. People bought from brands because they saw it on TV and it's the only TV channel that they watched, right? Well, a few years ago, this happened. Technology democratized media creation. Shout out to Steve Jobs. Creating before content was super expensive. Today, I have my iPhone. I can do whatever I want, right? And most of the tools out there are free or cheap and easy to use. But what's most important is the following. The algorithms also changed. Gladly because of TikTok. TikTok democratized the distribution. What they did is completely flip the algorithm. If you guys remember Instagram, Facebook, all the social platforms before, you only were seen by the people you follow and that follow you, right? So the only people who could actually get a lot of reach were famous people, movie actors, high-level CEOs, people who were, fun and entertainers, right? When TikTok got into the scene, they were like, you know what? What if we built an algorithm that only focuses on if you do good shit, we're going to send it to people who like that good shit. So it made it a discovery first model, not follower first, meaning your content is pushed based on engagement signals, not who you know. It's merit based, not status based. The shift went from social graph to interest graph, meaning if you're doing content around dental and people who are curious about dentists, they're going to be on TikTok, they're going to see your content. They're going to be on Instagram, they're going to see your content. They're going to be on YouTube, they're going to see your content just because it exists. You do not need to target anybody, right? And it created what? The creator economy. Now all you need for attention is just post content. Post the 60-second video, post the 2-minute video, and let the algorithm give you views. Non-followers, 94% of all the views. Followers, non-followers. Followers, non-followers. Followers, non-followers. 84% of 73,000 views I got were from people who don't follow me. Now, if you're not in business, you may be looking at this and like, okay, who cares about views? Well, let me explain. To get you guys on this masterclass, I was spending $4,000 a day, right? 7,000, $6,000 a day on ads, right? At some point, I was spending like 17 grand a day when we did this masterclass a few months ago, right? And you have to understand that attention is the most expensive things here. How many came from ads on this masterclass? Can you guys let me know if you saw me from ads, please? Yes, yes. Okay, beautiful. See, and and I'm going to give you guys an example. I spent here $10,000, right? This $10,000 only allowed me to reach 37,000 people. That means that on average, I'm spending $3, $4 per $3 to reach one person. Guys, would you rather spend 10? First of all, how many have 10 grand to spend on ads on this call? Not many, right? But how many can make a 60-second video? All of us. All of us. You don't need money anymore, right? And guess what happened? Whoever owns attention owns the trust because now people don't buy from faceless brands, they buy from people they follow. And drum roll, please. The 1% figured this out and stopped everything they're doing to become content creators. Who do you think I'm about to share here? Who do you think I'm about to go over was someone who was excellent at business, but then stopped everything to become a content creator, a TikToker or a YouTuber? Put it in the chat. How many people do you know that were great operators that stopped everything? Elon, Jake, V, Gary, Alex Hormozy, Iman Gadzi. Okay, perfect. Check this out. Hormozy, who I showed you guys, made $17 million in a year, stopped, exited his old business to become a content creator. The outcome, he sold books, guys, literally books, and made $100 million in 72 hours, which is unbelievable. This is like you guys remember when I said like gym launch was an 8 out of 10? Well, the current opportunity Hormozy is in, the momentum ceiling of the current model that he's in because of content is like 100 out of 10. Okay? Kim Kardashian. They literally document their lives, guys. Gossiping, fighting with sisters, goes on to build Skims, a company that's now worth more than what? I think not Lululemon's, but I think it might be even bigger than Lululemon's. They're doing $1 billion a year in revenue, and it was launched 4 years ago. Do you guys know how hard it is to build $1 billion company? Not in valuation, but in revenue. Ryan Serhant, a real estate guy. On average, a real estate guy makes $56,000 a year. Ryan Serhant still sells homes. He sells master bedrooms. He sells great living rooms. He sells great views. He sells great whatever. But a countertop is a countertop. If you're a real estate agent, you're still selling countertops, right? But instead of making 56K a year, his firm brings in over $4 billion a year in annual sales, all because he's a content creator. Iman Gadzi, making $1 million a day, selling information. Alex Becker, scaling his software company, still does content. People scaling AI apps like Cal AI, which is this app that helps you track calories. The way they're driving traffic to it, they're partnering up with creators who do reels like this, get millions of views, and they're tagging their company. And of course, they're running ads, right? Her Fantasy Box, a good friend of mine, runs this brand with his wife. They do content, millions of views, and they just cleared $100 million with only $18 million in ad spend. Do you guys know how crazy it is to make a 5x return on ads in ecom? It's unheard of. Nobody does that. And not you can do that making 50K, but not $100 million, right? And my own story. When I was doing $1 million in 90 days in 2022, I wasn't spending a dime on ads. October 1st to December 31st of 2022, I spent 7 grand on ads in total. but I made $1 million in cash collected with my business. How? I was doing content on YouTube and I only had 5,000 subscribers. The skill of content creation is the hardest to acquire, and the truth is, most business owners will never acquire it on their own, and traditionally, there was no alternative until AI entered the chat. I'll show you guys how we've been able to solve this shortly. Guys, is that resonating? Does that resonate? Let me know in the chat. This past section, was it good? All right, beautiful. I'm gonna go to the next one. Let me just keep me going so I can, you guys can. I'll feed you guys, but I need to feed off of the energy and the attention. Okay. Sometimes I would like to maybe be a performer in another life, maybe go on tours, sell out stadiums. But for now, we're gonna do business. So check this out. The second thing is, now that you own attention, the second gap is most businesses don't know how to do strategy. What do I mean by that? You can have all the attention in the world and still not make money. Hence why we see a lot of people who actually have a lot of attention, but who are barely breaking the $10,000 a month mark, right? The crucial part that a lot of people don't understand is that more attention doesn't equal more money. The 1% understands that it's about how you architecture your funnels and your business, and how you take that attention and walk them through a choreographed process that then gets these people who are paying attention to want to do business with you, right? And the main levers that these businesses should know that they don't know, right, is first of all, who are you selling to? Whether you're running a clinic or a roofing business or a marketing agency, you should understand that you shouldn't just sell to everyone just because you can do roofs or because you can run ads. You should pick the highest quality avatar. The second thing is you should learn about positioning and differentiation. Otherwise, you're going to be a commodity. You should learn how to build offers where you're not paid per hour, per visit, per post, but you're selling outcome-driven offers. You should learn how to price and monetize. Do you have something that you're getting paid because of effort, because of how hard you work? Or are you getting paid because of value and engineering margin so you can reinvest in growth? Client ascension. Are you just doing business one-off? Or have you built a process where someone gets in with one product and then they end up staying and giving you more money over their lifetime? Conversion skills. How are you doing lead gen? How are you doing sales? Most people think sales is lazy. I shouldn't sell to anyone. I should just be there and do nothing, right? The impact of having a proper architecture and blueprint around how you're going to grow, even when you have, without having one, when you have attention, it's flat. No attention, no architecture, flat. But when you have a little bit of attention, when you have some service you're selling, you're going to do okay, but you're not really going to do anything great. But if you have the right attention and you can engineer the right workflow and the process to scale, it's exponential. Traditionally, mastering, literally becoming a growth consultant and being great at architecting great business building blueprints takes years. And the guy running his pizza shops or his coffee shop or his roofing business or his agency, funny enough, there are people who do advertising who aren't even good at advertising their own business. That's how bad it is for most founders to be good at scaling their own business. And the top companies, what they do is the following. They're just going to go hire the top talent, and they're going to go into companies, industries. Like they're going to build companies like Starbucks. They're going to build the Domino's, Orange Theory, McDonald's, Amazon. But Starbucks coffee ain't better than the local coffee shop. Domino's Pizza is not better than the local coffee pizza place. A workout is a workout. McDonald's is a burger, right? Amazon started out with books. It's not better than your local library that's free, right? But the difference why, even in markets that are not sexy, these companies build billion-dollar firms is because of the following. They go ahead and hire people that literally cost more than what this pizza shop, this coffee shop owner, local pizza gym owner would even make an entire decade of profits. So these people had no alternatives. They're definitely not going to learn it themselves. They definitely can't afford to hire someone, even if they saved up for a decade. And option three, which everybody settles for, They do nothing. They stay stuck in their business that's just killing them day by day. But for the first time ever, there is a new option. AI can compress decades of strategy into playbooks that anyone can apply instantly and finally put seven and eight, nine-figure growth models in the hands of small and medium businesses and get paid to do it, right? Last but not least, the third problem, which is the most important one, is that many people in this webinar may have already mastered everything I just talked about, but just like most businesses, uh, still be stuck below 100K or even $1 million per year. How is that possible? This is the part I like about business because just because you're smart and know everything I just covered doesn't mean you're going to make money. The thing that makes a business is not how smart the founder is. It's not how good the opportunity is. It's the systems they put in place so that whether the founder is working hard or not, the company runs, generates profits year after year. Okay? What does that look like? It looks like an infrastructure where you have acquisition systems. Think of marketing engines, CRMs, automation teams, conversion systems. You're tracking your sales process, your closers, your managers, your dashboards. You're tracking your fulfillment systems. You're tracking your measurement systems, right? And the difference between a realtor that makes 50, 60K a year and one that makes half $1 million a year is that every single one of these layer here is solved with an infrastructure while the rest of the market is still doing things like, oh, I'm going to buy Zillow leads. I'm going to post on social media every now and then. I'm going to handle all the calls myself. I'm going to do the open houses and the inspections. And I'm going to track everything on my Google Sheet, right? The 1% of realtors, they're running everything on a system. They're advertising, doing content predictably. They're structuring their sales process. They have triagers, closers, right? With scripts, CRM tracks everything, et cetera, et cetera. It's what's the differentiate coaches that are broke and coaches that make a lot of money, lawyers that are broke and lawyers that build $100 million firms, right? Each one of these systems, though, the problem isn't just a task. It's a discipline, which makes it even more complicated to figure out for most businesses. For 99% of them, they'll never figure out. The 1% that do, they print money. But now, for the first time, AI systems democratize the scale of building these growth infrastructures, and I want to share with you how. But before I show you how to solve these problems with AI systems and the fulfillment model we leverage, I want to summarize this section as it's the most important part of building a company that thrives in this AI race. The first one is we don't follow the crowd ever. If something is super popular, low barrier, there is no money to be made because it's a race to the bottom. The second thing is we also don't want to compete with the smartest and wealthiest people in the AI race. They'll literally give away your entire business for free just to make you go out of business. We'll compete with them later. Third thing, we find underserved markets who have money and who have a pain that they can't overcome on their own. Okay? This is super important. You do not want to sell to people who have all their times on their hand and they'll figure it out on their own because they will not want to pay you. They need to have money and they need to have a pain that they can't overcome on their own. The fourth part is we enter these markets, and the number one thing we do is we look at the 1% in their industry, study what they're doing, and then we make it our mission to free the rest of the market by putting those playbooks into AI systems that they then can buy from us. Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat. Can you repeat the 6 core levers? I'm gonna break them down. I'm gonna go slowly, but for now, this is just like literally about what problems are we solving we want to solve with AI. We want to solve for the infrastructure. We want to solve for the strategy, which is kind of like they don't know what to do in their industry, and we also want to solve for attention. These are really the main 3 pillars that all the companies that we're building are solving for in all these markets. Is that clear? Let me know. Cool. So attention. How are we using AI to solve attention? For me to believe this was even possible, I needed to get proof that You could actually generate attention without needing to build a personal brand. Because right now everybody's saying, "Oh, you need to build a personal brand," blah 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 blah. But I'm like, yeah, but we're not gonna go to these businesses and say, "Oh, we're gonna come and film you every day." Like what? First of all, that's not even a business worth building where you have to do a content creation where you show up every business. What? You're gonna fly to LA and then you're gonna fly to Montreal and then you're gonna fly to the UK to help your clients? No. That's how you end up in a wrong opportunity ceiling and not make any money. So I wanted to figure out, is there ways to leverage AI to generate attention online? And we got lucky once we started focusing on AI. And one of our clients in our incubator did something pretty interesting. His sister wanted renovation for her basement, and she got quoted crazy prices. She lives in Calgary, right? And his brother, who's a former marketer and was running a business, saw the prices that a lot of these construction companies, development companies are charging. And he was like, oh my God, these people are charging so much money. And then he went to look at the actual subcontracting price, like the actual cost to deliver the work. And he saw that there were great margin. It's actually a great margin business. And what he did is he spin up an Instagram page to launch his construction business. Instead of advertising, instead of doing anything, he said, I'm going to go create content. But the way he did it is he did it all with AI faceless videos, AI voice, AI creatives, everything. 60 seconds. And look at what happened. You guys remember when I said that all you need to do is create content and the algorithm is going to find you who is interested in your thing? That's what happened here. 1.4 million views, 1.7 million views, 1 million views here, a million views here, 6 million views here, 4 million views here. And he grew this profile to 60,000 people in 6 months, 835 leads in that 6 months. And some of you may be like, oh, but these are normally just unengaged leads and they're the wrong leads. Not really. Are you in Ontario? Can you do this same project in Edmonton? I'm currently doing extra bathroom. This is good to know. Wish they offer this in my area. That's awesome work for going above and beyond. I sent you a DM, right? And the impact for his business, new business, $500,000 in the first 5 months, all with an AI faceless. Now, I want to show you guys how we solved it with AI. So you guys understand how this works, you guys have to understand first how to actually solve the content game. Unfortunately, people who do content are definitely smart because they understand something. The first thing they understand is they understand what's going viral on these platforms. They just know the right hooks because they spend all day long on these platforms. So if you're not a content creator, good luck trying to know how to go viral. You're just not going to figure it out. But if you want to be able to solve this, if we in our mind was like the number one thing we need to do to be able to allow businesses to go viral is we need to know how what actually goes viral, right? The second thing you need to do is you needed to understand how to actually create valuable content. So we also needed to automate that. The last piece is we needed to automate the actual creation of the video so that we don't need the business to create the video. So what did we do? Well, we started cooking. Let me show you guys. We essentially built a platform that focuses on a lot of things. I'm going to go through shortly. You guys are going to see this. But what was the number one thing that needs to be done is I need to be able to find content in any niche I desire. So what did we do? We scraped the entire internet of niche viral content. That was step one, which is I want to be without, let's say I'm a dental clinic owner, right? And I'm seeing this video that has 12 million views. If I wanted to advertise and get 12 million people to see my dental firm, or even let's say I'm selling these veneers, it would be impossible for me to spend enough money to get this many views. So why don't I learn the framework of finding what's already going viral? And if I like any of these videos, I can click on it and you can see it, right? And then if you like whichever you like, so let's say I like this one, has 90K views. Why should you be the one to create the content? I like this video. Um, please create a new one. And you know what? And use at Cook with Serge, Cameo, to create it. Get AI to pick the video you like the most, get it to script a new video, right? You choose. Let's go with a comedic day in the life, right? It's going to write the script, the first clip, the second clip, the third clip, the fourth clip. And when you're happy with the script, FYI, I'm not going to go like prompt this a better and try to create some amazing videos for now. I'm not, but I just want to show you guys the workflow of how it looks like the near future. If you're happy with this, I like it. Please generate. It essentially will then go ahead and start kind of like generating. As you guys see here, I don't see it running. Can you start now? Boom. You see? Now it's running. It's going to take a few minutes because what we did is a little different because not all AI video creative models give you long form or long format video. So normally Sora cuts at like 10 seconds. So what we engineered is because we want to create longer form videos, we actually asked it so that, well, actually, no. We built an AI model that stitches videos and clips together all with AI. That means that you don't even need an editor to go stitch multiple clips together. You just get the AI, at least the way we built it. Since you're capped with how long each video is, well, how about you get AI to create each clip and then stitch it together? And then when it's done, it will deliver videos, right? And of course, this was me, like this was my Cameo. Of course, it's not like as good. I don't know if you guys can hear the audio. Um, but the goal is we're trying to bridge the gap of content.
Pencils should meet the gum line at about 45 degrees like this. Small, gentle circles. It's less about force and more about sweeping the plaque away.
So not straight on, kind of ended up into it.
Exactly.
Oh, feeling great. Look at that.
So the goal is what once was super, super hard with the business.
Wow. There's no joke. No, you did.
The goal was how do we get as close as we can? And of course, depending on the model and the prompting, you can make these videos better and your output is going to be good. Is can we allow a business to tell us, hey, I want new creatives to run, and you just go prompt, talk to AI, get it to cook. And then when you're happy with it, you can just go and distribute on your social media and pick whichever platform you want to attach to it. Instagram, okay, cool, perfect. Add your comment, pick and schedule it, boom, post. We believe that, and by the way, I don't care for me to solve the quality of the content. OpenAI is asking for trillions of dollars in investment so they can solve it. All we needed to do is build the infrastructure that allows you to be able, in a single sitting, be able to go find what works, prompt it, output. And we're not trying to be OpenAI. We want to build a workflow that gets good as OpenAI, ChatGPT, Gemini get good. Does that make sense? Is that clear for you guys? Is that 6 months, this wasn't possible, FYI. So my bet is that 6 months from now, everything is going to be 10 times, the quality is going to be amazing. Or you want to go out, I want roofing viral content. Let's say you want to go after roofers who don't create content for themselves. Okay, perfect. Search. Find guys on roofing on TikTok, on Instagram who have a lot of views and reprompt it, and then boom. Right? We believe that this is how the future is going to be to solve the content game. And most businesses will never create content. So guess what? We're going to go to them and say, you want to pay us every month? We're going to create content for you. And guess what? The job, the fulfillment is literally words. It's language. You don't need an editor. You don't need camera equipment. You literally just need to sit there, drink your coffee. Hey, I have this dental clinic. They need content. Okay, perfect. What's the best prompt? Boom. Cook. Okay, perfect. Let's go back. So this is the future of content. The second part was, yes, you have content, but then you need to know how to grow a dental firm. You need to know how to scale a gym. You need to learn how to scale an agency. You need to learn how to scale an info product business if you're selling courses, right? Well, the traditional way was you had to buy all these courses. You had to buy Consulting Accelerator by Sam Ovens. I'm sure there's someone in the dental firm selling courses to dentists. I'm sure there's someone who's teaching how to scale a roofing business. I'm sure there's someone who's selling coaching on how to scale car business. Like all these opportunities, you have to buy someone else's knowledge. But today, not really. You don't need to buy. You guys don't need to buy my course to learn everything. You guys can just do the following. Let me show you. In this new world, um, AI can kind of like solve almost everything, right? And I want to show you guys a little workflow that we figured out. Let's say we want to go within the dental clinic world, okay? And I want to figure out how are they marketing, how are they selling, okay? And what are the best ads that are currently working? Well, traditionally, I would have to go through a what? An agency. Today, I don't. So we built a workflow, a set of agents that essentially go scrape the entire internet at scale in a single workflow to help you find what's working in your industry. All you have to do is, please help me do research of what's working in the dental practice world. And the reason why I'm saying dental practice is because we have clients right now. I literally have 2 clients right now who are doing 100K to 200K per month in this industry. So look at this. What it will do, and by the way, you could try to do this on ChatGPT, but it's not going to work, right? The reason why it's not going to work is because the way that we built it is we try to find the places where there is the most amount of data, okay? You want to go on ads library because other practices are spending money on ads already. And if they're spending money on ads, it means it's working. You want to go on Reddit because Reddit is where people go to complain about dental firms, dental practices. You want to go on YouTube and watch YouTube videos because on YouTube is where all the experts share content of what's working. And then you want to get AI to analyze and study videos on your behalf, right? This takes a little bit of time because it's a lot of deep research. So I'm going to show you guys because I've already done this before. Look at the type of research it delivers. It will go ahead and give you the market overview on the B2C side, the customer side, or the B2B side, people selling to practices, give you everything. It will define what they're currently struggling with and what their dream outcome is. Marketing agencies are charging 2.5K a month, but most market practices waste the money. Leads don't convert to patients. Staff isn't tech savvy. Receptionists lose leads details, don't follow up. Missed calls, 60-70% answer rate. 40 to 50% no-show rates for booked appointments, especially with multicultural communities. I don't know nothing about the show-up rate in multicultural communities. I don't know anything about that. So what do these practices want? They want predictable, consistent flow of 50 to 100 new patients per month without wasting money on ads. They want 80 to 100% phone conversation every lead that takes calls and actually schedules, marketing that they can actually measure an ROI. This is great for me if I want to sell to them. But what about if I want to help them get customers, then I should also understand their customers' mindset, right? People who actually want to go and buy dental services, right? So he goes ahead and scrapes everything. Feeling judged or guilty. There are 44 likes on the top comment. No matter what you do, they will always find a way to make you feel guilty of something. I don't know why dentists make people feel bad for coming to the dentist. I'm anxious about feeling judged, being able to afford the work I need. I freaked because I hadn't been in my entire adult life. But they don't give a shit. They just clean teeth. They're worried about cost and affordability, right? So it's giving you a mental model of what people who would normally buy, what keeps people from buying and what makes people buy, what patients want. I don't know anything about dental. B2B market intelligence. I could go on and on and on. Ad creatives that are currently working. YouTube content insights, competitive landscape, recommended marketing agencies and resources, right? And then it will also show you the ads, right? That are currently being ran. I think this was the third one that I actually did. You get to see all the ads.
I started talking with my hand near my mouth during
100,000 people.
And then if you want to know how to help them scale, I did this research. I said, okay, I want to help dental clinics scale. Give me the offer that I should help them build. Give them the lead gen I should suggest them. Give them the system I should sell them when it comes to sales. A 5-minute lead response SLA phone scripts. Give me the fulfillment I should suggest them. Give me the monetization model I should provide them. How they should monetize literally their clients. 1 in 3 Americans don't have dentists. So you literally help them upsell their families, right? Retention, automated recall, and a membership model. Moats, the niche brand positioning. And it will go ahead and give you the entire breakdown of how to do it, right? And then if you're like, oh, but I want to also find who's advertising and who's already selling. Because if this can help you see what dentists are doing, then wouldn't it help you see who is advertising to dentists to get them as clients? Of course. So then you would ask it, okay, now help me find people who are selling to dental clinics, who are selling them AI appointment solutions. And then it goes ahead and does the same report. Guys, most of you probably aren't in business and don't understand the level of efficiency this creates for someone who's launching a business. But in literally 3 messages, 3 message requests, you can understand everything about any market you're trying to go into without buying a course, without hiring an agency. Literally, even a dental practice owner, I know someone was in the dental space on this webinar. If I give them access to this tool, they could go on there and study, okay, what's broken with my business? Okay, cool. Okay, perfect. This is what I should do. And then apply it. So for us, when we're going to these businesses, we're leveraging AI to study what they should and shouldn't do and what the top 1% is doing. And then we're like, hey, by the way, we have strategies on all these levers. Would you like us to help you? And then it's a no-brainer. So when it comes to strategy, that's how we're solving it with AI. Okay? And I want you guys to understand the impact of knowing the right strategy for the market you're going after by sharing with you guys this case study. We had this client who he launched his first AI solution in end of 2024 and scaled it to 20K per month, literally in the first 30 days. But unfortunately, what happened is that he had picked the wrong market. He had the wrong understanding of what these people are dealing with. And even though he did scale fast, spent $2,000 on ads, made $21,000 in cash. He went broke. Why? Because he lost all his clients and they charged back, asking for refunds. And he took a step back and went at it again. He had $800 as of a payment threshold on his ads manager. This is where you advertise to get clients. So $800 threshold, if it hit, it would charge his credit card. So he had up until spending $800 on ads so Meta can charge his credit card. So he was like, you know what? I'm already broke. What do I have to lose? He went and launched a new campaign. But before he did that, he did deep research to understand what's happening in this market, which is the dental space. He didn't just say, oh, I'm going to go sell them AI SDRs. He was like, what is it that dental clinics practices want? Who is their ideal customer? He also got to a point of understanding that they get 50% of people to fly in, right? And then he realized that, oh, this is why they're stuck. And he went back to them, gave them back their main bottlenecks in a video promoting these services and say, hey, we're going to solve all these problems. We're going to help you get 50% of more people to show up and fly into your office. We're only going to help you sell this product, and we're going to help this AI system that gets all the calls, reschedules, and solves your no-show rate and qualification. Would you like that? They said, yeah. July, he hit $16,000 in cash collected. August, he hit $50,000 in cash collected. And a month ago, he hit $30,000 in a single day, collecting 15 grand in a single day. All because he did better research at understanding a better market, which allowed him to position his AI system as a unique value proposition that clinics are happy to pay. Guys, $15,000 for. 15. Mind you, he had $800 left on his ads manager. So that means that he closed the client before it went and charged his credit card, because if it would have charged a credit card, it would have stopped advertising. He luckily got closed the client, and then the month after, he did $50,000 a month. It's amazing what's possible when you just do the right research and pick the right markets and make sure you understand who you're selling to before you try to sell them and think that, oh, everybody wants AI. No, 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 no. People don't want AI. They want to solve their problems with AI. If you don't understand their problems, you're not going to make money with AI. Perfect. Now, last part we're going to go over is when it comes to solving these problems, is execution for the infrastructure. As covered earlier, attention knowledge is great, but unfortunately, if you don't have an infrastructure to help turn attention leads into appointments, then all that work was useless, right? Businesses are happy to pay premium for these AI systems and tools to be integrated. And the system I'm about to walk you guys through, our clients are, it's the same system our clients are selling for 9.5K, $15,000. And the main reason we're able to charge these businesses this much money for tools that are, let me make it clear, the tool itself is a commodity. How to build it so that it actually drives revenue for a business, that's the unique part. I want you guys to not focus on these AI chatbots and feel like, oh, they're so sophisticated. No, they're not. It's not the tool. They're all $20 a month. They're $200 a month. They're not worth 9.5K. What's worth 9.5K is the intelligence behind building it in a way that generates money for a business. So the main system that we're currently selling is a system that converts leads into appointments and gets these appointments to show up. And the reason why this is so valuable is because MIT did a study that saw that if you contact a lead in 30 minutes versus 5 minutes, the chances of you qualifying them and reaching them drops by 100 times. And in most companies that are run by humans, I'm sure they don't even reach out to them in the same day, right? So for us, we're like, oh, wow. Well, that means that if we can get a business to reach out to all their people showing interest in their business in 5 minutes versus 30 minutes, we can drive 100 times more value. We're like, oh, yeah, okay, perfect. Say less. And it's also important to understand that the reason why it's okay to charge 9.5K is because every single month last year for me, I was spending $24,000 a month, 27,000 in February, 24,000 in March, 29,000 in April, On average, I spend $25 to $30,000 a month on appointment setting, right? On an appointment setting team. So if you were to say, hey, Serge, can you pay 15 grand once, which is 50% of 1 month worth of expenses on this function, and you can get people to AI that reaches out in less than 5 minutes, I'd be like, yeah, please take my money because I'm saving 300K a year for one off 15K price, right? So here's how I'm not even going to show you guys how the system is built because to be honest, I could show you guys. I mean, I can show you guys. You have a bunch of things here. It's built on Go High Level. We leverage different proprietary kind of like not we have not proprietary. There's for the voice tools, we don't necessarily want to rebuild it ourselves because so many companies have already built it. So we want to let other people work hard so we can just take advantage of their work, right? So we use whichever provider is the highest quality. And I want to just play. So essentially the way that it works is you integrate it in we like to use GHL, Go High Level as a CRM. It's easier. It's you build it once, you can release it over and over again. And it also has a bunch of workflows and it also has a way to prompt it so that it actually has context for the niche you're actually integrating it for. So you not only need the workflow, you also need the context for each business. And this is a long prompt, just a screenshot for me to be able to fit it here. And then we wanted to do something special though. What we decided to do is we don't just want to have setters that work on calling. We also wanted setters that reach out to people on platforms like WhatsApp or SMS. If you guys remember, when you guys opted in, you automatically had a WhatsApp message, correct? Right, guys? How many did get that message? Perfect. So that was on WhatsApp. It's our AI WhatsApp, right? That means that like we don't need a human will come in the loop, of course, but it's not necessary, right? And that difference, guys, is night and day to the impact. So I want to help you guys. I want to play you guys. Well, the first one I'm going to play you guys is the voice for the insurance industry. And I'm going to show you guys the WhatsApp. And I'm going to show you guys another industry for proof. Just listen to this voice note. Okay, perfect. Let's hear it. Let me know if you guys can hear it, okay?
I'm reaching out because you showed interest in life insurance and I will do one of our ads. Does that ring a bell?
I've been looking for insurance, but I'm not really sure. I don't remember the company specific.
Thanks for letting me know. Let me explain a bit more about why I'm calling. But I'm here to help you explore life insurance options that fit your needs. This call is on a recorded line and will only take a few minutes. Do you currently have any life insurance in place?
No, not currently.
Let me see.
Got it. Are you looking for coverage for yourself, your family, or both?
Just for myself.
Thanks for sharing that. Can I ask your age to better understand your needs?
I'm 26.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Are there any health concerns or conditions I should be aware of?
No, pretty healthy.
That's great to hear. Based on what you've shared, I do recommend connecting you with our senior financial consultant, Sam, who can walk you through tailored options. Would you like to schedule a time to chat with him?
Can you give me a little bit more details on the type of policies that you guys offer before I schedule the call?
Of course. We specialize in life insurance policies, including indexed universal life, IUL plans, which combine life insurance coverage with a cash value component that grows over time. These policies can offer flexibility, tax advantages, and even supplemental retirement income. Heisem can dive deeper into the specifics and tailor options to your goals. Would you like to set up a time to explore this further?
One of the things that I'm aiming to achieve with securing this kind of like life policy is to, one, protect assets, but also figure out a way to be able to pull out money in the future. Do you guys have such a coverage?
Yes, we do. An indexed universal life IUL policy could be a great fit for your goals. It provides life insurance protection while allowing you to build cash value that you can access in the future, often tax advantaged. Haisam can explain how this works in detail and tailor it to your needs. Would you like to schedule a time to discuss this further?
Yeah, but sometimes next week. I'm not free this week.
Let me check our availability for next week to find a time that works for you. Next week, we have openings starting Monday, March 3rd. Would a morning or afternoon time work better for you?
Do you have any time slots Tuesday afternoon?
Yes, on Tuesday, March 4th, we have afternoon slots like 1:30 p.m., 2 p.m., or 2:30 p.m. Would any of these work for you?
2:30 works.
Great. Just to confirm, you'd like to book the appointment.
So essentially, you confirm the time, and then it literally just sends you an email to book right away, right? But for me, I really love the AI WhatsApp setter. So I want to show you guys. Check this out. Um, oops, try again later. Well, might not work. Okay, perfect. So someone opts in. Let's say you have a business, someone is opting in. Maybe you're running more of a knowledge business. Let's say for us selling these solutions, this was really good. Maybe not so much for a local business, but let's say if you're selling something that someone needs to understand a process, then this is perfect. And I want to show you guys how it's built on the back end. Check this out. Someone opts in. Hey, Serge, thank you for opting in. Is it cool for me to ask you a few questions to make sure it's the right thing? Then you open it, you say, yeah, it's cool, it's fine. And then it's going to qualify the prospect. Hey, are you actively running a business or wanting to launch one? I'm actively running one, right? Actively, yes. And then it's going to take as you guys can see, time that it waits are different. So it doesn't feel like it's AI. Like a lot of these bots, you message them and they're just boom, 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 boom. And it's just annoying, right? For us, it might take 30 seconds. It might take a minute to answer. Boom. So great to hear you're in the game. What's the main service or product you're offering? And then you give it context as to what you're selling, who you're selling it to. And then it's going to take time. Interesting focus. Who's the target audience for your YouTube content system? What type of creators or businesses are you aiming to help? Boom. I'm focusing on people who sell courses, right? Check this out. Next clip goes in. And then it's asking me, got it. Infopreneurs, how are you currently finding and connecting these businesses? I'm curious about your lead gen approach. I'm relying on cold outreach. Cold outreach can be tough. What's your process of turning those cold leads into booked calls? Do you use a specific tools or strategy? Not really. I'm just focusing on volume and sending value video before I pitch the call. Okay. Interesting approach. When it comes to delivering your YouTube, are you delivering hands-on or hands-off approach? So it's qualifying literally the business model, not just my market, the solution, but also the business model that I'm leveraging. Got it. With your mix of service models, if you could solve one thing, what would it be? The thing that's holding you back. I'd say that it's getting more clients. I'm like, okay, perfect. And then it says, that's a common challenge. Would you be open to checking out some free training on creating a more predictable client acquisition system? So it doesn't actually go and try to sell the lead first. It actually tries to educate them and lead with value. And when you say yes, here's our process with lead generation. Let me know what you think. Boom, a YouTube video is sent. Do you guys help implement the system or is this a course? We actually do both. It's and implementation and training. Want to hop on a quick call? Then it goes ahead and kind of like tries to pitch for a call and qualifies a prospect if they have the funds, right? And it also does the same workflow, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? We believe that the future is essentially this. And the reason why this was able to work is because the way we built this agent is most people building a lot of these AI SDRs try to have one chatbot that then have one logic. Okay, like someone is going to come in, here's the goal I want for you. It's actually not the best way to build them. You want to have it needs to be a modular system where there is an agent for each function, one that qualifies leads, one that sends the training, one that books them, and one that follows up. Okay? And that's why it's so good at keeping track of every single workflow. And we have this client who is in the UK who we installed it for. He's in mergers and acquisition, but he was launching his business, so he didn't have time to necessarily build an appointment setting team or do the setting himself. So we installed it for him.
And how does it feel to have the thing just kind of do like It's so
Like
crazy
you,
because
you
I've
know how to do
it's so
like
crazy
like
because
you
I've
know how
switched.
to do shit, bro.
Yeah,
Like
like literally, I don't have my WhatsApp notifications on during like work times, like 3 to maybe 6. So I'll have no idea this is going on, and the next thing you know, my Gmail notifications are on. I'll get a notification, oh, so and so is booked in an appointment, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, this is the few is so crazy. Like, I literally be sleeping or doing something crazy, and then I'll wake up and be like, oh, I've got 3 appointments booked in the coming days. It's yeah, it's been amazing.
I love to hear that, bro.
And these systems um, are it's the main infrastructure that we're kind of like plugging and playing into businesses because it's the one that drives revenue. Like if you can get attention, if you have the right strategy around how to convert that attention into money and you have systems that convert literally humans and get them to show up to your business to give you money, then what's left? Nothing. Just do your job. Keep running your business, keep loving your craft, but let us actually cook, right? So solving the creative generation bottleneck, discovering the 1% growth strategy in every niche that growth consulting firms are literally paid millions to create. Last but not least, implement the system. The beauty of this fulfillment model is that most of all these systems, by the way, are all built once. You only need to understand how to scale a dental clinic once. You only need to know how to scale an info product business once. You only need to understand how to scale a restaurant once. So that means that for every client who comes in, it's the same strategy that you plug and play. You only need to build these agents once, and you only need to build a system once. All this snapshot here I showed you guys, every client, when we're implementing it for them, we don't have to go and rebuild it again and again, right? This is a snapshot. That means that I can plug, let's say we're going to sell this system to a business. Just duplicate this and then give it to your clients. I want to show you guys this. Look at all the businesses that we have our snapshots here. All these companies all leverage our snapshots and they're just reselling all of them. And all of these are all built once and they can just copy paste this entire system. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I can keep scrolling. All these are all businesses that leverage a snapshot. And guess what? How much money do you guys think all these businesses paid? A lot. So, and the thing is, we didn't have to rebuild it over and over again. It's the same infrastructure, it's the same asset, which allows us to have what? Replication leverage. Replication leverage is the ability to take a system or play that works once and reliably repeat it across multiple businesses, markets, and workflows with almost a zero marginal cost of replication. If a client wants this snapshot, I don't have to wake up and do it for them. I don't have to work hard. I could go on vacation. I could quit business and be tired of business and it's still gonna be there. All they do is my team can just click replicate, give it to this person, let them go leverage these in their markets. Most people in the AI automation space, they're wanting to build custom workflows every time, which kills momentum. And what is the number one thing about making money? You need momentum. You need to be able to deliver fast without breaking a sweat, right? And secondly, if you're just releasing this system in the same businesses, your bandwidth of how many clients you can handle in a month skyrockets. That means that not only can you deliver fast, but since you can deliver fast, in a single day you can plug and play a system, well, you can handle, who cares, 30 clients a month, each worth 5, 10K. That's how you end up making multiple six figures a month and millions of dollars a month in months. And what's even more exciting is that we do not charge you because we worked a lot of hours. We charge because we solve premium problems. Just like someone who comes in when your door is locked, the locksmith, and they charge you, they work 2 minutes, they open a door, and they charge you $200. We also don't want to charge because we opened a door and it took us 2 minutes. What is it? We're going to be slaves to our time. We want to be like, how much is it worth for you to get into your home? $200? Okay, perfect. Well, then how much is it worth to help your med spa that's currently getting a 50% no-show rate? You're spending money on ads and 50% of people are not showing up. How much is that worth to you? Is it worth $500? Is it worth $2,000? Or is it worth 10, 15 grand? So our pricing formula, guys, is what is the potential growth we can drive to a business and what is the likelihood of that happening? We multiply this and we just say we want just 10% of the potential value we can deliver. So if I took a business from a 50% no-show rate to 20 to 25% no-show rate, which essentially means doubling the people that show up to their business, that's a potential of 200, 300K a year in potential revenue. But let's say 50% of the time we're actually able to achieve this. So the expected values just falls to 125K that we can add in the next 12 months. Are you willing to pay us 12.5K for us to set up a system that in the next year can add an extra 6 figures and beyond to your business? Yes. Okay, perfect. Let's get to work. And this is how we solve for the pricing power variable, which is how much money we make per client. Right? Now, guys, is it clear? We're about to visit the last piece of the puzzle, which is how do we get clients? Where does the lead come from into workflow GHL? I did this currently, Serge. I did Google Sheet, Notion, but I felt like I had either copy link, what structure I would build. Who is maintaining the system for the client? Most clients aren't tech savvy, so they're going to pay you to maintain it. So they pay, let's say they pay 5, 10, 15 grand up front. They're not going to maintain it. So you stick around. You're like, okay, cool. Pay me 2 grand a month. If ever there's an issue, if ever it needs to be prompted better. And that's how you not only get paid up front, but you also get paid on a recurring basis for a system that you plugged in once. You can almost make it feel like, it's almost like making it feel like, how can I say this? You're getting your foot in the door with the system they want, and you stay around. Cool. How can we get clients? And then I can play more recordings later if you guys want proof. I'm just trying to wrap up so that, I mean, I could go for days. I love this. I live for business, but I want to show you guys how we're getting clients. So as I mentioned earlier today, my first ever client was, my first ever business was appointment setting. So I could show you guys how we do outreach with VAs so it's cheaper. So it's like, you don't have to, you can literally with $300 a month, you can get clients, but I'm going to focus on how about we don't wait to create wealth? How about we get there the fastest path possible? And the only way where it's possible for you to grow and scale and create wealth for yourself with a business is when you remove yourself and your emotions from the equation. And that requires a system that prints leads, sales calls, and ready to buy prospects on the days you're sad, you're sick, the weekend, or even on days you're excited, right? I want flow 24/7, so that's what I'm going to give you, okay? We can talk about it later if you guys want less flow. But let's go over the $50,000 a month growth playbook. And again, I'm not talking about how to make 5K per month. I'm talking about how to make 50K per month. Because if I show you the thing that makes $50,000 a month, guess what? It makes it inevitable for you not to get to 5K per month or 10K per month, right? Always start with a bigger problem. Cool. Let's cook. Let me show you guys the system, and then I'll show you guys this bad boy. Are you guys enjoying this, by the way? Am I cooking? Darren said I'm cooking. Okay, love it. Thank you, guys. I love this. I love this game. I sometimes forget when I'm about to do webinars. I'm like, oh my God, again, another webinar. But then I get into it. I'm like, you know what? Actually, I actually love my job. So here's my thought process around how to make money. And I'm going to help you guys shift the belief. Instead of trying to make money in the sense of like, oh, I want to get a client, or hey, I want to get 10 clients. I want you to think about what would make it unreasonable for you not to get a new client every single day. If you ask yourself that question, you would realize that The thing that makes it unreasonable for you not to get a client every single day is by completely and totally removing yourself from the equation. There are companies that make $100 million a day. Not $100 million a year, not $100 million in valuation, $100 million every single day that the sun comes up. Do you think that it's possible to do that because the founder works hard? No. They've just put together an infrastructure that generates that throughput, or at least the inputs that create the output. So for us, for every single business we launch and scale, this is how we think. We start with the end in mind and we build it for good. First thing you need, you're going to need an offer. What is it you're going to sell? How are you going to communicate it? And can that be automated? So we put together a sales deck, a sales letter, and a funnel. So that every person who enters your ecosystem gets a breakdown of how the system works. They get an entire breakdown strategy doc that breaks down everything. Once you have this, well, you need systems. What kind of systems? Well, you're selling systems. Do you think that your business won't need systems? Of course, you're going to need systems. You're going to need to track your own leads. You're then going to need to have automations on the back end. Then you're going to have a platform where you track everything that's coming in, right? You have customers coming in, people applying, how much money they're making, blah, 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 blah. You have calendars. You want to see where people are coming in from. Are you doing cold outreach? Are they coming in from your paid ads efforts? Okay? You want to track your pipeline. All this needs to be in place. Then you need ads. Have a campaign flowing so that you can spend. Let me show you guys. A lot of people think paid ads is expensive. No, it's not expensive. Wasting money is expensive. Spending money on marketing is not expensive. Janae said this. I started running ads on Friday. Within 30 minutes, I had a lead who went straight and booked a call. And not even 48 hours in, I have 14 calls, 14 leads and 4 sales calls. And I only spent $66. How many here have spent $66 this week? But it wasn't to get 4 business owners on a sales call. Most people. But then they're like, oh, but building a business, marketing is expensive. It's hard. No, it's not hard. Right? Everybody has spent $71 in their lifetime. But it wasn't to get 8 businesses that can pay you $5,000, $10,000 and beyond. Everybody has spent $138 eventually. But it wasn't to get 5 booked calls with franchisors, people wanting to sell franchises, right? So ads flow. The next thing is you need appointment setting. How are you going to get these people to show up? Because just because they booked the call doesn't mean they're going to show up, right? So you need a system that converts them into appointments. And then last but not least, you best believe that you're going to need to be good to convince a doctor to give you $8,000 or 7.5K. It's not just saying, oh, here's the chatbot, here's the audio tape. Please give me money. No, it doesn't work like that. You need a proper workflow. How are you going to uncover their problems? You're going to do a discovery. Then you're going to figure out, hey, how long have you been dealing with this problem? How soon do you want to solve it? Right? What have you tried before? There is a specific playbook you need to run on sales calls so that by the end, they're like, yes, please take my money. Right? If you solve these 4 layers, these 5 layers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you end up actually having a proper business that runs without you and where you have the ability to be able to wake up to sales calls and people giving you money. It's as simple as that. No more, no less, right? I can show you guys real quick something. Business is so complicated. So many people complicate it. And I think the more you complicate it, the harder it is, right? But it generally can be easy if you just focus on simplifying things, creating a mental model, a picture of what does perfection look like in my business? Because a lot of you guys, especially if you want to launch a business, it's so overwhelming. You feel like, oh my God, I have to figure out this. I have to figure out. No. You need to figure out 5 things. Your offer, your systems, how you're going to get traffic, how you're going to book calls, how you're going to close. That's it. And that's how all of our clients are doing. 42 sales calls this month, 4 calls booked. I haven't posted this, but client this year, 5 calls booked yesterday. Second deal here, 24 calls here, 29 sales calls here, 40 calls here, 7K GBP deal, 586 sales calls, and 63 new clients. 24 hours from launch, 9.5K cash collected, 24 hours after launching. All because the 5 pillars were solved for. And a lot of people literally operating businesses right now for decades probably don't even have this figured out for them. But it's also what you're going to need to actually grow and make money. We help people grow companies, but guess what? You kind of need the same infrastructure to scale and grow yourself. Does that make sense? How we get clients? And by the way, we're spending a lot of money in car dealership, coaches, concrete businesses, dentists, e-commerce, software, fintech, financial advisors, HVAC, insurance, lawyers, marketing spas, mortgage brokers, nursing homes, real estate. You pick a niche, we're probably selling something in there, right? Hence why we have a lot of data on what works on the ads, because we're launching like 30 of these every month and managing like hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars in ad spend and seeing essentially what works, what are the creatives, all that good stuff. Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat. Is that clear? Serge, I'm grateful that you're helping me piece together my career path. Just got out of uni, and this is the future for real. Got depth to clear off, but I would love for you to break down how to automate these systems with which platforms you use to combine it all. Listen, if you want to pay your debt, your school, your what is it? School debt, it is not going to be because you're building these. It is going to be because you go get the client and then you find someone who knows how to do it on Fiverr for $20. So it would be the wrong thing for me to literally teach you because it's literally not worth anything. But knowing how to make money, how to get clients, on the other hand, that's worth a lot. Okay. Okay, guys. Last but not least, trend leverage. Everything I just walked you guys through is nothing compared to this lesson I'm about to share. Earlier this year, I spent a weekend listing out some of the fastest scaling businesses we've ever helped. And it made me realize something that a lot of entrepreneurs never learn. I've won in life, right? Like I've set out to achieve, to build a company, to be financially free somewhat, and I kind of like did it. And there's two types of entrepreneurs. There's the beginner entrepreneur who wins the first time, and they're like, "Wow, I'm so smart. I'm so much better than everybody else around me," right? Because you're doing better. Let's say my second year, my literally the end of the first year of business, I was doing $500,000 a month at like 23 years old. That would normally get to my head. I don't know. I don't think it did because I would have gone crazy, but it didn't, right? And the reason why it didn't is because I realized that 80% of winning is luck and 20% effort. So the reason why I was able to win so fast and so soon was because I realized that like I could work 15-hour long days, right? Like those entrepreneurs that says, "Are you working 16-hour shifts?" I'm like, who cares if you're working 16-hour shifts? That has nothing to do with making money. It's all about finding luck. And I want to tell you guys how we've been finding it over the last 3-4 years consistently. And the moment that I learned this. So we had this client, Amar. He had been previously running a business, an agency for literally like 2 years, selling ads, Snapchat ads, and Facebook ad. And when he started working with us, I was like, you know what? We're not going to go to these e-commerce brands and try to help you get appointments with them. But we're seeing this trend where a lot of these brands are looking at TikTok as a new platform and they're wanting it. Are you okay if we don't focus on scaling your current business offering and we just pivot it to TikTok? He said, yeah. In 7 weeks, he'd scaled to $66,000 a month with zero ad spend, all because he talked about his new offer on Twitter. No work, no hard work, not even outreach. The only thing that we literally did is, hey, I think you should be selling this instead of selling this. And I built him almost $1 million business in 7 weeks. Another case study. I relearned this. This was 2021. This was 2022. I went to London for a mastermind, And I met this guy. He messaged me on Instagram. Hey, Serge, I've been following your content. Can I come and record your mastermind? You don't have to pay me. I'll just come shoot. I looked at his profile. He had pretty good content, and I said, yeah, why not? And then when he came, he started talking to me about he had been through all the courses. He literally had 300 pounds left in his bank account. I said, I couldn't help him. Like, you can't really help someone with 300 pounds in the bank account. But I said, you know what? Whenever we find an insight, I'm going to let you know. And then the short form content feature started releasing. Instagram started having short form. TikTok started to have short form. YouTube started to have short form. But a lot of businesses, even the people who did content, didn't have a team that would edit and create short form content. So we started, guess what? We started launching companies that do short form content editing. And I knew that he was good. So I was like, hey, we're seeing this trend. It's killing it. Short form is really in high demand. Do you want to work with us? We can help you spin up an agency. And in the first 24 hours of launching his campaign to send a little 3-minute, 5-minute videos explaining how he was doing content for businesses, he booked 3 meetings with a popular podcast host who had done a podcast with the founder of Gymshark and also done a podcast with Stephen Bartlett. What is it? I was listening to his podcast actually yesterday. Anybody knows the podcast of Stephen? I think it's like My Diary, Daily Diary. Anyway, yeah. And then in the same month, they closed $27,000 in deals after sending 50 videos. And earlier, I showed you guys this kid that was doing 2 to 5K per month and how he got to 50K per month in 3 months later. And how this guy went broke, but then spent back again a 50K, 100K a month business. None of these transformations happen because we worked hard or we are like the smartest, most hardworking people. No, it's because we were the company that focused on how do we find the most amount of luck before we even start the work. You can get a lot of things wrong if you get the big trend right. Conversely, if you don't get the main trend right, you can do a lot of things right, but you won't make a lot of money. This is the single greatest business lesson that in my career, that I've ever had. I will never let a good trend go to waste because it's literally saying like, hey, just do this, and it's just luck. So how do we increase our surface luck area, our luck surface area? That's your only job as an entrepreneur. Otherwise, you're gonna just get punished. Business is so painful that I don't actually recommend anybody gets into business. Hence why I showed you guys the stat. What is the stat that started this entire training with? That the average, actually it's not even average, 95% of all entrepreneurs on average make $15,000 a year because they think that it's about hard work. That is because about loving your job and your craft. It is not. I learned this from this guy, Brad Jacobs, right? The only issue with luck, though, is that it also matters with timing. How soon you get started matters. So if you look at crypto, I've never been invested in crypto, but I wanted to study how big being late changes. If you invested $10,000 in crypto and Bitcoin in 2013, you would have 11 billion. If you just waited 2 more years, no, in 2010, if you waited 3 more years, you would only have 11 million. If you waited another 3 years, you would have 2.8 million. If you waited another 3 years, you would only have 200K. If you waited another 3 years, you only have 55K, right? The thing with luck and timing is that whoever is first gets to just win so much. The second group, which is like the crowd mid section, people who enter once something is being aware, everyone piles in, still possible, but margins shrink, competition rises. And if you're late, when AI is mainstream, it's a commodity and the opportunity is gone unless you own platforms or IP. And talking about platforms, I promised you guys that I would share before I wrap up today's presentation. I want to show you guys an opportunity to not just play the AI game to get rich quick, but to enter a game where you can make time your ally. Can you guys allow me to do that? Let me know in the chat. I once learned from a mentor of mine that the perfect way to create wealth is to make time your ally. What I mean by that is every second that passes, you get luckier and you get richer. That's really hard. You know? That's really hard to accomplish, but the perfect business is literally that. It just compounds. You don't have to work harder. It just keeps on giving. And I think that we're almost there. So, we believe that the end game isn't actually around becoming an AI service provider. We believe that the future is actually around becoming an AI growth architect and owning and renting intelligence. Anybody want to break down what I mean by that in the chat as I go through this? What does this make you think of when I say this? Becoming an architect, and all you have to do is just own the intelligence and rent it out to people. Check this out. Unlike most AI gurus, I'm not here to tell you that this is an everlasting opportunity. The truth is, it's not. Nothing ever has been, right? I'm here to help you think in a way that keeps you from ever losing. Because if you don't lose, you win by default. In a world where intelligence is technically free, the tools are close to free, the opportunity of selling AI will not last. And I have spent countless nights trying to figure out the next step and natural evolution of stepping from a $500,000, $1 million a year opportunity that might be short lived into something that is durable, true wealth creation. And we stumbled on this opportunity business model by accident. I've been showing you guys this platform, but I didn't really break down how we even started building it. And today, I want to show you guys this. So what we essentially took, right? We took everything we've been doing with our growth consulting business, and we realized that, you know what? If I can productize my knowledge, why do I still run a human-led business? Why don't I just let AI do all the work for my clients? And I built an engineering team, hired a bunch of data scientists, and I'm like, you know what? We're a human-based business, but if I'm going to be an AI company, then might as well actually take this shit seriously. So we got to work. Let me show you. I didn't show you guys the entire experience. Now I want to show you guys the experience right now. Picture this. When we're looking to help someone help scale their business, we take in their profile, we take in their background. So if you're wanting to get AI to do that job for them, you would get AI to take in that background, right? So what industries have you worked in? What services have you sold before? What's something that you're naturally great at? Do you have skills in different markets? Do you have a community? Do you have a brand? Do you have a network? Do you have an audience? Do you have case studies? Why are all these important? Because they're important because it gives you leverage and allows us to pick the best path for you. Where are you currently at in your journey? Are you just starting out? No clear offer. I have an idea, but I haven't sold it. Or you're already established. How much money are you making per month? What is your goal? How fast or what goal revenue month? How fast you want to get? No, what is the type of business you want? Do you want to be super heavy, build a team, or do you want to just be a solopreneur and run everything lean? How fast you want to get there? 30 to 60 days, 3 to 6 months, or 6 to 12 months. Every one of these changes because if you tell me, hey, I want to make $1 million in the next 90 days versus 12 months, the strategy is completely different, right? What is the current biggest bottleneck? Are there any specific tools, systems that you feel are missing right now? When it comes to delivering your solution, are there any constraints? What do you feel blocked? How do you use a tool, AI? Are you aware? What's level of sophistication when it comes to AI tools? How strongly do you believe AI? Blah, 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 blah. How many hours do you have to allocate? Resource allocation in time, money, and how do you have a team or are you a solo founder? How fast do you want to get started? I only have 20 hours to build this. Okay, perfect. Tell us where you came from. And then boom. Once you give me all of this data, I'll go do research. Just like a human has knowledge, around what they would do. If someone has already been successful and you give them your experience, they kind of know what is the best thing they would do. So for us, we just productize that with AI. Based on my background, I just gave it. It went ahead and did research and went into every single market, found the recurrent owner pain point, how AI solves it, and the typical AI tech used to solve it. Deep dive, the sources, the benchmarks, the risks, HIPAA compliance, recommendation, and whichever opportunity solution is worth selling, AI-powered lead reactivation for B2B SaaS prospects, AI-driven client acquisition funnel for local service. I like this. For coaches and consultants because familiarity is high. What else? Where else could I pick? The future is that you don't need to build one business. You could just build multiple. So I could just pick this one too. And once I'm happy with this, I'm like, please cook, build for me. Right? And then it's going to take a little bit of time. I want to show you guys, once it's built everything, I would love to share you guys' experience, but there is a little lag to building these assets. Maybe we can come back to it. Once you have it, you end up in this section here, which is your kitchen. You're literally just building stuff. And I want to show you guys what I've been building. As you guys can see here, you can have multiple workspaces. You can literally be building and working on multiple companies at the same time, right? You can put together your offer. You want to go after AI-powered operating system for private equity firms, or you're like, you know what? Actually, create the same offer, but for the biggest pain point for dental firms. Boom. Done. Updated. Increase new patient bookings by 35% and cut front office administrative time by 50%. Okay, perfect. I like this. Hey, I'm going to give you an offer and I just want you to rebuild the website and but rebuild it for the offer that I'm going to give you. So you can just use voice instead of actually chatting. And the goal is it should update this funnel, this website, with this new offer I just gave it. All right. Now my team just sent me this on the, unfortunately I can't show you guys because we're building this. So you see, it's literally coding the entire thing as we go. Right? And then 1 second. Let's just see. I just want to show you guys real quick. All right. Now update the editor now with the new code. I'll show you guys this website. This entire website was built with just AI. There's literally entire careers, professionals who used to do this for a living. And now all you need to do is use language literally say, hey, I want to build this website, looks like this, boom, 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 and then build it, right? And you can just build all types of websites you want all day long, just however you feel like it. You want to build ads? Go ahead, create the images, right? All with language. You want to create nurturing assets for your emails? Talk to it. You want to create sales scripts? Do it. You want to build process maps so that you can do content around it? Document how you should do your work. Document how the entire system works. Right? All with language. And then go build the content. Right? And then you can also have, of course, think, and you can ask it whatever you want. Right? The future is going to be that every single thing that you do can be put into a single platform, and you yourself don't need to be the slave to your business anymore. Our way of building business assets, our way of creating content, our way of creating nurturing assets, our way of accessing data is all productized here. So I could give my brother just had a baby. When that baby hits the age where they can use a keyboard, I'm giving them this platform. I'm like, go build a business. What are you doing on the weekend? Why are you playing with kids? Like, go cook. And this is the most exciting times about being an entrepreneur, right? And of course, it's not it, right? I could go on and on about everything here, but you can literally create custom agents that go scrape the entire internet, work for you in the background, go build thumbnails. You can have literally employees that you can run and say, hey, every single day, I want you to do this. I want you to go find YouTube videos that have 200,000 views in the last 365 days. And I want you to scrape them. And then this agent will go execute in the background. Of course, it failed because I don't have no suitable videos found because I wrote a bullshit. But the idea is that you can have agents that work in the background. So not only do you research, which I showed you guys earlier, you can actually take that research and build things. We like to call it cook. And then once you have the cook, you can deploy it. And then even better, you can create agents that go work in the background. Once I saw this, I was like, oh, okay. So then the new future isn't just in building an AI service business. The new future is in this here. Is the 3 stages to what we believe is creating and scaling a company with AI. It is not about sticking to the first phases that I showed you guys. We believe that these are the 3 phases to building an AI company. Phase 1 is you're building and releasing AI systems into companies. And as an example, let's say you want to go after the cleaning industry, right? And you're selling a system. Maybe it's not $15,000 because they don't make a lot of money. Maybe it's 7.5K, right? And every single month, you're compounding 5 to 10 new clients a month. That means you end up earning around 37K to 75K per month, more or less, right? After a year of doing this, that means that you will have built a pool of 120 clients, 60 to 120 clients, cleaning businesses. This path alone for us, the highest we've taken it is like to like an 8-figure, $10 million a year run rate, right? Of building the systems and releasing them into companies. We took that to 8 figures a year. Phase 2 is a lot of these businesses, someone asked this question, is what happens if they want to fix things or there are new problems that occur? Well, guess what? You already got your foot in the door. So who do you think they're going to do business with when they need more systems, when they need new insights, when they need new playbooks, of course, they're going to go after you. But the way you're going to monetize it is going to be different from the way you did it first. You're going to charge 10 to 20% of what you asked here, and you're going to put them on a monthly recurring fee. Okay? And the thing you're going to deliver is, hey, every week, every month, we're going to tell you guys what's happening in the AI space. We're going to update, manage your systems, but we just want you guys to pay us every month so we can keep fixing things in your business. We're going to be your AI partner. We're going to be your AI growth partner. Okay? This here allows you to build not just the recurring aspect of a business, which is amazing, but it actually allows you to collect something that is infinitely more valuable in the era of AI, which is data. He or she who has data that can't be accessed online wins. I'm going to explain it later. Once you've completed these two phases, you now have enough money to go and build something like we've built. And then instead of selling systems, you're going to be like, hey, how much are you spending on a marketing director for your clinic? Oh, you're spending around two, 3 employees in your team are costing you 80K to 150K a year. Oh, okay, perfect. Would you like us to build a marketing agent, a lead nurture agent, a sales agent, a retention agent, an ops agent? And all we're asking is we're going to save you 150K a year worth of expenses, but we just want you to entry level is $997 a month. If you want multiple agents, multiple features, AI employees is going to go to 1,500 to 2.5K. Oh, you have multi-location or a franchise? Oh, okay, well, pay us 3 to 7K. We're going to give you an entire operating system for your business. And guess what? You already have the clients because you started acquiring the pool from the initial business that you built from selling the systems. So every single cleaning business, if you end up developing this platform, is going to work. You don't even need to go sell a software. You start a service integration business first. You build the customer pool, you build the cash flow, you build the data, and then you go develop the app. And then guess what? You go sell it back to the clients you acquired while making the $5 to $10 million a year. Of course, I'm not going to say you guys are going to do it, but at least for literally, that's what we're doing, right? And this entire playbook means that whoever builds the AI app in the cleaning space makes everybody who was selling systems irrelevant. Everybody who builds this operating system in the dental market makes everybody selling AI to dental people irrelevant. Everybody who's built this for agencies makes everybody selling to agencies irrelevant. Everybody who builds it, because you're literally selling intelligence. You're selling employees. Nobody needs to do anything as long as they have AI doing it for them. And some of the greatest companies are built off of this idea. Constellation Software, a $10 billion a year in revenue business, meaning they make like $1 billion every month, okay? What they did is they realized that like the goal isn't to go build a software company that goes and reaches crazy heights. The goal is to actually go find niche software that won't attract a lot of competitors, and we're just going to get them to $5 to $20 million EBITDA or in ARR, in annual recurring revenue, and we're just going to acquire hundreds, thousands of them and put them in a portfolio. Every single company that actually ends up scaling really big, that's what they've done. Does that make sense? Is that clear? Does that resonate to you guys? So the real opportunity, guys, is not in selling AI for the sake of selling AI, but I needed to show you guys initially just to clarify everything that you guys had. Because everybody wants to become an AI agency owner, and everybody wants to be. But the thing is, I wanted to show you guys the real game. It's in owning and owning intelligence and renting it out. And that is the only game we're willing to play. And this is why, if you guys remember, this is the first platform shift that all trillion-dollar companies are focusing on. The reason why they're doing it is because they knew all along that it's a race that they can't afford to lose, because for the first time ever, we have technology that is threatening human labor. We have a technology that is threatening the value of a knowledge worker, of a human. So if humans aren't going to be that valuable because AI can do their job, then where do you think the people who make the money and create wealth are going to come from? They're going to own the systems that do that job instead of the human doing it. I hope this is clear for you guys, because this is one of the most exciting times to be an entrepreneur. Because nobody understands this. Everyone's like, oh, I built end-to-end workflows. I'm like, okay, cool. Wait till I build an AI that builds the end-to-end workflow. What are you going to do? Are you going to go jobless? Of course you are. Everything, though, comes back though to momentum and leverage and playing the right games and finding the luck. If I can summarize what winning is, whether that be in AI or before AI, it was all about leverage and momentum. Now, let's wrap it up with a simple path. Everybody here who's won this masterclass had two options. Either the consumer path or the creator path, which is you either rent or you're going to work on building a company that leads you to a path where you can own intelligence. I just spent the last few hours sharing everything we've learned about launching AI companies and a new path that opens up to anyone who enters this AI race. As I've said before, I don't care about AI. I care about survival, as it's the only way I can take care of the people I love and reaching my full potential. I see many entrepreneurs who want to be right more than they want to be free. And they spend not just 1 year, but decades in the wrong opportunity vehicle because that's what they're passionate about. I fully encourage you to find something you're willing to sacrifice your life for, but wouldn't you prefer being in a position where you could afford to reframe it into, I want to find something I'm willing to live for? And the only issue is that it's a luxury that most people will never have because they don't learn to play the game, and they for sure would never make sense of paying a $27 to join a webinar. FYI, this webinar was paid. We made it free. I hope you guys are appreciating this because it was paid. But you guys did, and you guys showed up. So good work on you guys for making time and sticking around, right? We've gone for 2.5 hours. But you now have to make a choice. And the choice is really simple. Are you going to do nothing and go back to your old routine because you're telling yourself, what if this doesn't work out? Or are you going to go all in on this new adventure with the mindset of, what if this actually works out? I don't need to go over why AI is a ridiculous opportunity, but I want to share the definition of growth and intelligence. The smartest people and the people who achieve the most amount of growth learn fast, but they change even faster. Because you can learn how to make $500,000 a month, but if your behavior is still as this person who behaves as someone who makes 5K per month, you're going to be stuck there. The rate of learning has to match the rate of the behavior change. Because to truly bridge the gap of where you are, yes, you need the knowledge, but then you need to solve it with execution. These two variables make dreams come true. More information is not going to do anything. 99% of people on this call, even though we just went through something that literally is making millions for our communities, yeah, cool. Okay, cool. Great. You guys got a lot of value. But what are you going to do about it? Right? And if you don't solve this, it's just going to be another piece of information. Okay? Now, was your time worthwhile on this training today, guys? Let me know in the chat. And did you guys learn something that you didn't know before? Actually, like for those who've gone through a lot of these masterclasses on AI and how to build companies and scale them, did you guys see it be different from what everybody's talking about? Like, what did you guys think of this? Let me know in the chat. What did you guys like? And do you guys now understand the potential of AI and how it will change the landscape of how we scale businesses? Right? And you guys now understand that your first business doesn't have to be something that you're passionate about. It just has to focus on one thing, leverage, if your goal is to win effortlessly. Do you now understand the value of the model of building and releasing systems in order to acquire clients that allows you to then acquire data and in return allows you to enter a game of renting intelligence? Is it fair to say using insights I covered today, It's unreasonable for everyone watching this not to have a significant edge over their competition. If we parted ways right now and you were left to your own devices to go off and do this on your own, it would be a worthy ideal to pursue. And if that was your only option, but it isn't. There's a second option, a second path where you can join our growth creator incubator and have me and my team help you make 12 months of progress in weeks, if not days, preferably 14 days, right? There's this famous quote from Archimedes that says, "Give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place, and I shall move the world." And today, what we want to do is we want to give you the fulcrum to move your world. Based on everything we've learned, the future is owning intelligence and renting it out to businesses that won't figure out how to scale on their own. But a platform only exists after someone defines the playbook. Who is that person? The architect, who spots opportunities, designs the systems, and validates it in the market. It is our duty to help our clients and partners see this shift and adopt the most valuable skill set in an AI world. When AI can research, it can think, can execute, the scarce resource or the scarce value becomes the person who chooses the right markets, defines the growth playbook, and turns it into a productized intelligence. And the risk of staying out is real. Once an architect in your niche codifies the winning system into a platform, service, or in the generic system, the thing is, once someone does it, all the systems you're selling, all the workflows, all the time you've spent mastering something, it will be rendered obsolete. The platform owner captures the margin and the market. Everyone who's here needs to first get into systems and then gets into a platform. Whoever owns a platform in your niche removes the need for systems or services because intelligence will do all the work. And like Warren Buffett said, and Charlie, in one of their books, is all I want to know is where I'm going to die, so I'll never go there. That's the entire thesis around how we build companies. It's how to avoid failure, not how do you win. It's how do you avoid failure? Because if you avoid it, you win automatically. We believe this is the greatest opportunity for wealth creation, but also the greatest wealth gap creator. And we want to be on the right side of this new world. And we're finally entering phase 2 of our AI roadmap. Phase 1 was everything we did to discover everything I just covered with you guys today, which was we needed to actually help these AI founders launch, scale, validate AI-driven firms, agencies, consulting businesses, prove the demand is massive. Businesses everywhere want AI-powered systems. But phase 2 is for us to actually take what we learned and get into the platform game and owning intelligence and renting it out to as many niches as possible. I showed you guys our platform, but for me, I'm not doing this masterclass because I want to show you guys our app. I want to know how many of you guys have access to industries that we can go and partner together and own every one of them. I want you to stop thinking about one app. I want you guys to picture 100 in every single vertical and niche you can think of. The problem is no single company can build all these platforms. If billionaires can't go after all these SMBs, neither can we. So that's why our next mission is to empower a new generation of AI growth architects, people who can discover opportunities in any market, design the right playbooks and the systems, and turn them into assets that can eventually be automated and productized through AI. Our vision, we want to help you go from 0 to 1 as fast as possible and give you everything we've learned from building these AI growth firms, who to sell, what to sell them, how to get them as clients, how to deliver results, and most importantly, how to validate your niche AI growth playbook and system. And our vision is we want to empower you to become an AI growth architect on your niche and turn your discoveries into an AI platform that can generate $1 million in profit per year. My goal is in the next decade is to build a $100 million profit portfolio with our partners. Now, it may be a crazy goal. I might be stupid, but every day I work at it to get there. Now, here's our promise. Give us 4 weeks to help you build your offer and leverage our $50,000 a month AI growth playbook and infrastructure, help you plug it into your business, help you launch your business, help you plug it into your existing business. Maybe you lack the right model and systems, and then 8 weeks to help you optimize the entire system. Once you've scaled to 20 to 50K per month, in the next 3-6 months, you'll have validated the niche, the playbook, and the systems that companies are willing to pay thousands, 5 figures, multiple 5 figures for. Then we will be happy to partner with you and help you convert your entire business in a single platform with AI, where AI agents do most of the work for your clients. If you want to learn more about this offer, comment offer, and then I'll break down how this works. Comment offer, and then we can get started in the real work. Whoops. All right. So I'm going to break down the value proposition, the steps, essentially everything that we provide you. And the best way for me to do so is by showing you guys what are the main obstacles that you deal with. The first one is not knowing the best market to target. Some of you guys may already be operating businesses and you may be like, oh, I want to go after this market, but we're like, maybe not so quick, because you have to find markets that are willing to invest like a good amount of money into AI systems versus the ones that don't really care about growth solutions. You need to make sure that you can find a market that is willing, that can be found through ads or cold outreach. And most important of them all, you need to make sure that they can actually see the value from the AI playbook. So the feasibility of the AI thing you want to sell has to already be proven for that industry. For us, we'll work one-on-one with you to help you guide you in one of the markets that we're already in. You want to sell to services, local businesses, online businesses. As long as they're a service-based business, that's what we like to focus on. We're going to help you find them. And that means that you start with clarity. You go from doubt to clarity. Picking the right market is the most important part. Obstacle number 2 is maybe you don't know what to actually sell and how to package it so that businesses can wire you or make sense of giving you this money. So we're going to help you create the right AI solution, the right AI system, the right offer, price it accordingly. Even a bigger mistake is pricing your services cheap, because business owners don't necessarily care for cheap things. They care for things that actually work. And one of the things that conveys value is the price of something. If something costs $50, it's probably not going to change your life. So if you go to a business owner and you're like, oh, we installed these systems to generate, to grow your business by 10x, but it's cost us $5,000, they're going to look at you and be like, are you sure this can actually work? We had a client who they were charging something for 5K and they were not able to sell anything. The moment they started selling it for 10,000, businesses started buying it. Same offer, same system, but because the price was high, it actually made the prospect believe that, oh, if it's 10 grand, it's probably worth something. So we want to make sure that you can actually charge enough. Obstacle number 3, talking to prospects who aren't already sold. 99% of founders we see struggling to close deals wait for sales calls before they can create within the prospect the belief that they need the solution. Most businesses don't know anything about AI. They don't care about AI. They know they want it, but they actually don't know what they want. So you need to make sure that before they jump on a sales call with you, you have them go through a belief shifting sales asset that pre-sells the prospects and create buyer beliefs. We have a bunch of docs breaking down all of this in every single niche that we're in. And once they see this, they can literally go through, you qualify them. This system costs 15 grand. Are you willing to sign up? And we have one client in the dental market who's literally saying on his funnel saying, can you afford 15K? After they launched this sales letter doc. And they're like 41% are saying yes, which is unbelievable. Try being a marketing agency where you ask these businesses if they're going to spend 15K. They're going to be like, are you crazy? But because of the workflow we walk them through, they're willing to sign up and actually qualify themselves. Obstacle number 4 is unable to generate the required volume of leads and appointments to scale past $50,000 a month and beyond. As I said earlier, we want to completely separate you, the growth, from your efforts and time. It is the only way you can actually scale. If you already could scale, you already be scaling, right? The biggest enemy for most founders is the founder themselves, right? So we like to build an acquisition system. We've built the entire thing that's documented, the ads, the system, the funnels, everything is pre-built. And then we just help you plug it into your business so that you can literally wake up, spend your $50, and in 24 hours, get leads in the law firm market, get one of them to pay non-phone 5K upfront, and take some of this budget and reinvest it in ads. All you need is to get one client to then feed whatever they pay into the machine again and then go generate more sales calls, which is the beautiful thing about having a system like this is that it's not about how much money you have, it's how fast can you get a client so that that client can then finance your marketing spend. And in the last 3 months, we have generated, actually, I did a screenshot this like 2 months ago when we first built this. Now we're at 1,200 sales calls. We've built a channel. I wanted to see how many calls we're generating a day for our clients. And now we're around 1,200 sales calls that we've booked through the system for like a few of our partners as we were testing it, right? And the difference between a 10K a month and a 100K a month business is the level of control you have on demand generation. If you can generate demand, then you can dictate and control how your destiny is going to go, right? And then appointments, leverage our self-selling AIs and AI WhatsApp setters so that you don't even have to do any of the lifting. Obstacle number 5. If you're unable to close these deals, it is definitely the hardest part because you can't skip being good at sales. Traditionally, you needed to go through hundreds, if not thousands of hours of sales to be able to close. So instead, we provide you with our self-selling AI agent and funnel, which means that every single prospect who goes into your funnel will actually be called or reached out to by an AI. It will look up their business. It will call them if they choose to have a call. If they don't want, it will just text with them. It will identify the main reason they want AI in their business. It will then qualify them and then book them on a call. This simple system has allowed us to increase the conversion rate from people that show interest into booked calls by 50%. This was the first time we ever introduced it into a client's business in April earlier this year. And she was paying $36 to get a sales call that is booked by AI, which is kind of like the same system I showed you guys. So we essentially, not only do we sell these systems, but we also leverage them in our own funnel, right? And then last but not least, since we already have a database with all these deals, then we kind of like have a playbook and recorded assets around how to close in each single market. So you literally get everything right there and then, right? The scripts, the onboarding, the dialing, the setting, everything that you technically need. And it's allowing our clients to close these higher ticket deals, but you definitely need the right training and the right framework, right? And of course, join our community. We have a community of not just people building AI companies, but because we were around before AI, but people building all kinds of companies, all different markets, which is good because the best thing you can have is be surrounded by other people who are doing what you want to do. Because if they're sharing their wins, 7K deal here, 120K client today, is going to push you and drive you to actually get it done. Okay? And every now and then, we host mastermind workshops around the world because if you're going to work hard, it is also good to just build a community of founders because it gets pretty lonely when it comes to building companies online. If you're seeing this, then it means you've just completed the entire AI masterclass and gone over the entire playbook that we put together from all the lessons learned from launching and scaling over 200 AI service companies in the last 15 months. And I wanted to do something special for you, which is I want to make sure that you got the right insights and the right beliefs that will actually empower you to win in this new era of AI. Because we're in such a noisy space because of AI that it's so hard to know what to focus on. So I want to summarize everything for you. The number one thing that you should have gone from this is that it is not a luxury to focus on AI. It is not a trend. It is not a sexy thing to focus on. It is a form of survival. And if you've ever learned anything about surviving, you would understand that survival is the highest form of intelligence, because it doesn't matter if you do a lot of great things, if you build a company, and if you end up being successful. If you end up failing, then you have failed at the entire game. And for me, when I started seeing all these wins and I started seeing that the future isn't just about starting an AI service business, but eventually it's starting that AI service business so you can acquire data, make money, collect capital, and then also acquire distribution, which then allows you to enter this new game, which is owning intelligence and being able to rent it out to businesses, and then they pay you over and over again, essentially renting out the next frontiers of human labor. In the old world, a company would come hire your team because your team has expertise. In the next world, they're going to be hiring people who, because of the data they have, which isn't accessible online, because of the money that they invested building these models and the distribution of customers in a specific niche, they're going to build AI agents, AI platforms that they can essentially do the same job that traditionally businesses would need to hire humans for. If you compete with someone and you're still stuck in the old world of running a human-based company where it's just bloated versus someone who's running a company that is fully AI, you're not going to win. And this is why I wanted to release this masterclass, because no one online is talking about this. Everybody's saying, oh, you should go master these skills. You should go sell AI. You should go do this. But it's like, look around you. Everybody in the AI space is what? They're broke. And please do not fall for this trap of who's the sexiest person online, who has the most amount of cars, who has the most amount of views. No, trust me. Focus on first principles. Anyway, the first lesson is survival. The second one is that the only way that you can play phase 2 of this game, which we're currently now entering with our partners and of course with our platform TryCook AI, you have to first start the AI service business, get clients, get rich. You're gonna need a lot of money to play the platform game. And last but not least, once you have a customer base from your AI service business, then guess who are you gonna sell the intelligence to? The same clients. And I wanted to do something pretty special for you. And if you believe everything that I've covered today and you actually can see that this is what the future actually is, then I want to help you make sure that you can validate the entire phase 1 of launching and scaling an AI service business past $50,000 a month, maybe eventually past 6 figures a month, like some of our clients have done it in multiple verticals. And I want to do that by helping you pick the right market, help you pick the right systems to sell, help you implement the right acquisition system you're going to need to generate your leads, appointments, and clients that already know what you're selling and want what you're selling. And last but not least, I want to help you enter the game of owning and renting intelligence and turning the entire AI playbook that you're going to discover and all the systems that you're going to discover from your initial success of launching and scaling an AI service business. I want to then partner with you in turning that into a platform that is specifically focused on your niche, and we want to go dominate the entire niche together. If that sounds like an adventure that you'd like to embark on with me and my team at Client Acquisition.io, then I'm going to do something special for you for the next 5 days. I'm going to leave a link below for only the next 5 days where you can apply to join our last cohort of the year in our incubator and get access to our Black Friday offer. Now, before I share the offer, I want to make it specific. I want to clarify who this is for. This is only for you if you want to solve the top 3 most important problems that can actually be solved with AI for businesses and that businesses are willing to pay for. Attention gen, helping them create content with AI and acquire as much attention as possible. The second thing is become their growth consultant leveraging AI and give them the entire playbook around how to scale their businesses from 0 to $1 million, from $1 million to 10 million and beyond. And last but not least, become someone who implements infrastructure systems so that these businesses can scale without requiring the presence of the founder. If you do not want to focus on growing and scaling companies with AI, then this is not for you. There's a lot more people focusing on a lot of more stuff with AI. Go find them. But for us, we're focusing on making money for businesses. And in return, they're happy to pay us a lot of money. If that is you, for our Black Friday offer, we're going to do the following things. One of the bonuses, besides the fact that we're going to put together the entire thing for you, we also want to give you access to the following bonuses. The first bonus you're going to access in our Black Friday offer, which in my opinion is the most exciting of them all, is that you're going to get founding member access to TryCook AI. This means that you get 6 months of free usage on our platform. You don't have to worry about being overwhelmed and having to put everything together, whether that be for your own business or for your client businesses. We're going to give you access to the same leverage that a team of 20 people would provide you, all in our platform. So you're going to get access to 6 months for free. The second bonus is all the AI systems, all the AI infrastructures that we have been selling and implementing into businesses, which if you were to try to rebuild them on your own or pay integrators to build it for you, would cost you over $50,000. You're going to get access to them so that you can, one, implement them in your own business or start selling them to companies. The third bonus is that if we give you access to all these systems, you might not necessarily be able to integrate themselves or have access to a team of integrators that can implement them into your clients' companies. So let Client Acquisition.io be your fulfillment partner. All you have to do, go close $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $30,000 deals, and we will be happy to be the integrator on these deals that you're closing, so you can just focus on marketing, closing deals, and not have to worry about the entire back end. I believe that this is the biggest bottleneck that keeps a lot of people from able to charge a lot of money, so we want to solve that for you. And fourth bonus is you're going to get access to a one-on-one session with me. Every single member of this last cohort will get access to a one-on-one session with me after they've been onboarded. Last but not least, we're going to Cape Town in Q1, and one person out of this entire cohort is going to get access to a free ticket to join our mastermind that we will be doing in Cape Town early Q1. If you've been thinking about scaling your AI service business or launching one, this is the best time to do it. These last 4 weeks of the year is when every single business is looking to invest so that they can lower their tax bill, so that they can figure out what strategies they're going to actually implement beginning of the year. And guess what? The only people who are able to make money in Q1 of 2026 are not the people who launch in 2026. They're the people who, before the year ended, are in these businesses' inboxes. They're the ones following up so that once the year starts, guess who they're going to do business with? Not the new guy who's just cold called them that day. The person who's been sending them content around how they can scale their business. And that's why we're launching this Black Friday offer. We believe that now is not the time to lift your foot off the pedal. Now is the time to go all in. And I'm excited because from this cohort, we're going to find our partners that we can actually start turning the entire playbook into AI platforms for their specific vertical. And I'm so excited to launch this. And I hope this masterclass was everything that you were looking for. If you find it valuable, please do me a favor, leave a comment below, share it with the people that you love, because even if it's not for launching or scaling a business, I still think that everyone should be watching this masterclass to understand what's happening in the world. Thank you for watching this entire thing. And I can't wait to work with you. I can't wait to get into this new year and share with you more insights from what we will discover by going all in on owning intelligence and renting it out to businesses. Take care. Bye-bye.